here we are again. The world has turned once more, and 16 of the greatest multi-terrain races have rolled into the BJM Stadium to compete for the ultimate title. Over the next few weeks, speed tests on all sorts of terrains will crown the ultimate racer in this all-new, grander season of Terrain Marble Trials. Hello everybody, and it is my honour to welcome you to Season 3 of this competition, which will feature 2 more events for a total of 10, and an all-new B-League for the 8 non-qualified competitors. They will also get all 10 events. And in the first event here we have the Moguls, a short stretch with two previous events to boot across the last 2 seasons of bumpy terrain. The first half is smoother than the second half, and then as soon as you go over that little lip, it is just chaos incarnate. Down the ramp go our demonstration marbles, and it's the blue one who just gets across the line first over green, red and yellow, but it's chaos across the board in the Moguls, and it's a great opener to set the tone for this all new season. And there you see a new feature of this tournament. It is the B-League. These 8 competitors unlucky enough to not make it through the qualifiers around a month ago, and they will compete for a consolation trophy in the B-League. And here we are, ready to go for the first race of the tournament. Jolly Jogger, the Governor, Vagabond and Bone Rattler, and down they come. It's the Governor who's off to a quick start, fending off a challenge from Jolly Jogger, but it's a line of competitors. The Governor and the Jolly Jogger stretch their gaps to the second competitors. Here comes Vagabond though, they cannot quite get around the final few bumps, and Jolly Jogger and the Governor will advance. There's one of those newcomers for Season 3, off to a good start despite not qualifying. They will make it through to the final in their first race. Vagabond and Bone Rattler just slowing each other down there, allowing the Governor and Jolly Jogger to jump all over the place and still advance into the final. There's just 3 races only in the B-League for heats of 4 like this. There'll be a Heat 1, a Heat 2, and then a final for the top 2 that make it through. And here are the other 4 competitors who didn't make it. Amphibian, Gravedigger, what a surprise that was, Shiverburn and Wave Runner. And off we go, it's Gravedigger and Amphibian who are neck and neck. Wave Runner off to a particularly slow start, has some work to do. Shiverburn makes a move, here comes Wave Runner flying up the order. It's close between all of them across the line, but I think Shiverburn and Wave Runner, the 2 off to the slowest start, pulled through to win it and advance, and they did! How did they pull that off? Amphibian and Gravedigger just kept swerving. Gravedigger finishes in last after all that. Shiverburn almost goes under Gravedigger there, swinging past, making a nice threading of the needle move, and Wave Runner just gets second place ahead of Amphibian, and that will lock down the 5th to 8th positions, which has Bone Rattler in last place. Speaking of, I mentioned Gravedigger was a shock exit from the qualifiers. Bone Rattler, our Season 1 champion, is relegated to the B-League for this season, and is already off to a really poor start. Drama already for the classic contenders as Wave Runner, the Governor, Shiverburn and Jolly Jogger line up to crown the first B-League gold of the season. It's Shiverburn who gets a good start this time, fending off the Governor and Jolly Jogger, who, the latter of whom, gets around, as does the Governor, but Jolly Jogger flies to win the race, and Shiverburn falls off the podium altogether. The Governor and Wave Runner will round out the first podium, but Jolly Jogger, the newcomer, claims the first gold. Where did Shiverburn go wrong? I think there was a huge knock there, and a bigger one right afterwards, which let the Governor rocket through, and here's Wave Runner just finding their way around the end, more cleanly than Shiverburn to get 3rd place. But Jolly Jogger, congratulations, they win the first gold of the season for the B-League, with the Governor and Wave Runner coming in 2nd and 3rd place. Bone Rattler, of course, who has had a fall from grace for sure in the last few months, needs to start making some moves in the next 9 events. Every single event for the A-League will also feature a B-League, and the B-League will go first. So the A-League competitors here, which of course will be a much longer event, have now seen 3 races plus a demonstration, and they could have perhaps learned how the track bumps work for the main event here. Now, of course, Spruce Log is our defending champion. Overgrowth and Breakfast Rito got 2nd and 3rd, and Gordon rounded out the auto qualifiers. So those 4 are perhaps the top runners coming into this, but Breakfast Rito, of course, won every single event in the friendly round. So we'll see what happens with those auto qualifiers, but how will all the others from the 12 from the qualifiers stack up? Tropic Thunder, Sergeant Vaca, 2 newcomers versus Shining Dawn and Gordon, and it's neck and neck out of the gate, but it's Tropic Thunder who pulls away in the first half. Shining Dawn rockets forward off of a bump from Sergeant Vaca. Here comes Gordon to the line, and I think they beat out both Shining Dawn and Tropic Thunder to advance. It is a photo finish though. Look at this 3-way battle for the lead. Gordon and Shining Dawn will advance. Tropic Thunder at the very end loses out to Gordon, who had a screamer of a second half after a poor start. and by 100th of a second, Gordon beats Shining Dawn for some bragging rights, but they'll both make it to the semi-finals. Tropic Thunder, and both of the newcomers just couldn't keep up with the experienced runners there, and they will crash out in the heats of the first event. Blackcurrant, Constellation, Spruce Log, there's our defending champion, and Ice Cold. Of course, Constellation was great in the qualifiers as well. Blackcurrant and Ice Cold have some success. Ice Cold is slow. It's a three-way battle coming off the first half. Spruce Log leads, but can't quite. It falls apart right at the end. They go from first to third. Constellation Constellation and Ice Cold come rocketing through. Spruce Log is out of the first round. Incredible stuff by those two. Ice Cold had a great finish. Blackcurrant had a big knock right there with Constellation slowed down. And here's, look at Constellation and Ice Cold. Straight as an arrow on two different sides of the track, and Spruce Log falls out, and already the competitors who are trying to take that title away from him are off to a good start as Breakfast Burrito, Lightning Shark, Golden Syrup, and another newcomer, Neoclassicist, line up, and it's Lightning Shark off to a good start, fending off a challenge from Golden Syrup. Now Breakfast Burrito comes up into second place. Syrup wanders into the lead, but Lightning Shark, Neoclassicist with a blinder, comes through to win the race, and Lightning Shark holds on for second place. It's the second half of the track that really causes all the chaos, and Neoclassicist 7.17, a very quick time. We've seen many competitors from fourth place come rocketing up the field at the end to win the thing. That's happened at least 3 times already in this event. The first half of the track really does not leave that much of an impression on the final results. Neoclassicist and Lightning Shark advance, and look at this for a colourful heat. Overgrowth, Fast Fish, Lapis Lazuli, and Butterscotch. Fast Fish is back after failing to make it in Season 2, and Overgrowth is the runner-up of last season. Fast Fish leads over Butterscotch, who's getting forward from Overgrowth, who suddenly launches to the side, letting Lapis Lazuli come through and win the race. Butterscotch comes through in second. Fast Fish and Overgrowth, who seem to be off to the better start, Fast Fish was at least, it's a new record from Lapis Lazuli, beating out the previous time, the best time from the qualifiers by Golden Syrup. 6.85 by 400ths, they have the best time in this new mogul's history. Butterscotch comes across in second. Fast Fish and Overgrowth, of course Fast Fish has been away for a full season, so you wouldn't expect an immediate return to form. They finish in 13th. Tropic Thunder, the newcomer, one of them, is in 9th place of the 9th through 16th. Sergeant Vaca, the other newcomer who didn't make it, in 16th. So different fortunes across the table as the semi-finals now line up. Neoclassicist, Gordon, Butterscotch, and Ice Cold. Neoclassicist on the far right has got all these veterans to fight against to try and advance. Gordon has the lead over Ice Cold, swerving back and forth now. Is Ice Cold, gets the lead and the win. Butterscotch also gets around Gordon. I don't even know how that happened. I was too focused on Ice Cold's miraculous push to get into first place. But Ice Cold and Butterscotch are through to the final. Ice Cold, of course, has never gotten a podium even once in Train Rumble Trials history, and they're already off to a good chance to get their first one today. What a push that was! Butterscotch launching Ice Cold forward, and Gordon and Neoclassicist will finish in 5th through 8th. Remains to be seen as to where. Constellation, Lightning Shark, Shining Dawn, and Lapis Lazuli in the second semi-final. Down they come. Lightning Shark seemed to be quick, but Constellation is coming around the outside, as is Shining Dawn. They've both gotten past him. Lapis Lazuli's having a run, gets caught up. Shining Dawn wins it. Constellation makes a finishing move and gets ahead of Lapis Lazuli, who majorly slowed down. It was really unlucky with those bumps, but Lightning Shark really slowed down after the first half. An 11-second time, they'll finish in 8th place for sure. Look at the bumps. Lapis Lazuli, it was right here. That was a catastrophic mistake, and it allows Constellation to get up and get the advancement spot along with Shining Dawn. We have our finalists locked and loaded. The two blue marbles couldn't quite keep up with the pace there, and there you see Gordon will get 5th place. Neoclassicist, the other newcomer, will finish in 6th, with Lapis and Lightning Shark rounding out 5th through 8th. And we have our finalists, 2 yellows, a blue, and a nice deep grey. For the final, Constellation, Ice Cold, Butterscotch, and Shining Dawn for the first gold in this all-new TMT season, and down they come. It is Ice Cold with the quickest start, going for their first podium, perhaps gold. Constellation gets past, and then falls back to last. Shining Dawn, Butterscotch with a blinder. Who won gold? And Ice Cold has come to a stop. I'm sorry, I was stunned by that finish, but Ice Cold will not make the podium here. They'll fall to 4th at the end. Butterscotch with a finishing move that may have just stolen gold from Shining Dawn. And it has by 0.03 of a second. Butterscotch wins the first event of Terrain Rumble Trials with Shining Dawn and Constellation rounding out the podium. Constellation is lucky to walk away with the bronze because Ice Cold really stumbled. Our first and only DNF of the session comes in the final for Ice Cold. They'll finish in 4th place, and Constellation gets a sneaky bronze medal out of it. But Shining Dawn and Butterscotch, Shining Dawn has been particularly strong all event, and Butterscotch saved their best for last. Congratulations to those top runners. And the Event 1 results have really caused a stir. It is a great start to the season. And what an event that was. Through all the pomp and circumstance of the podium ceremony, we talk about, of course, the permutations. It's only the first of 10 events. for both leagues, but Butterscotch already confirmed a gold medal, first one in a long time for them. Constellation's back on the podium for the first time since Season 1, and Shining Dawn is off to a very good start after they fell off a little bit toward the end of Season 2, costing them a great overall finish. Jolly Jogger, of course, winning the first ever B-League event. That's good stuff for the newcomer, and Bone Rattler in the B-League needs to get things going to prove themselves as still a worthy contender after their Season 1 championship, and it's all gone downhill since. What can they do in the upcoming events? Of course, the next one will be our first laned event of the season. After the rock and rolling excitement of Event 1 of Terrain Rumble Trials Season 3 in the Moguls, we move along to another rock and rolling event, but this time more controlled and in nice blue lanes. Hello everybody, welcome back. This time we are at Event 2 for this wonderful all-terrain season, and we have the Hurdles event for you today. We've seen this event only once over in Season 2, but of course it was also in the Season 2 qualifiers, so we have two metrics to show how these could potentially play out. It's just like Moguls in that it's bumps all the way down. There you see the history. Lightning Shark has won this event both times. Gravedigger and Butterscotch have gotten both silvers, with Fast Fish and the Governor, which is a B-League competitor, getting those two bronze medals. Of course, qualifiers was one of them. But as you can see, they're not very big or dramatic hurdles, with the exception of that last one, with that short stretch on the wooden plank to the finish line. But they are still very much capable of slowing competitors down, and we're going to start this action with, of course, the B-League. Jolly Jogger was our winner of the first event, the only newcomer to fail to qualify, and is therefore stuck in the B-League with all of the veterans, but was able to beat them all out in the first event. Can they do it again in another event in a similar vein, but in an all-new style? Here we go with the first heat. Shiverburn, Vagabond, Jolly Jogger, and Gravedigger. There you go, Gravedigger's got some success in this event. Season 2 qualifier silvers. What can they do? Shiverburn had a good start, but here's Jolly Jogger and Gravedigger on the bottom two lanes, pushing ahead, going far. It's neck and neck between the two of them, but Gravedigger does pull ahead to win it. But those two, after the second or third hurdle, were just well clear of Vagabond and Shiverburn, who, in the backwards order of when I said them, third and fourth. Jolly Jogger was in front of Gravedigger, but just slowed down toward the end. You can see how they do these hurdles. They're not very big, but they do very well slow you down. They're more like bumps compared to the proper hurdles you see in the Olympics, but they can do all the damage that you don't see coming. Wave Runner, Amphibian, the Governor, and Bone Rattler, the four other contenders lining up for Heat 2. Very good start for Wave Runner, but it's the Governor who pulls ahead, miles clear of second place Bone Rattler, who is also clear of Amphibian back in third. Bone Rattler has a charge at the Governor, can't get past, but the Governor does win. Bone Rattler will advance. After a poor start to the Season 1 champion is back to advancing ways and onto a final. Amphibian and Wave Runner, third and fourth comfortably in that Heat. Two very similar stories in the heats, a clear top two, with the other two lagging behind. How did the 5th through 8th stack up though? I do believe, yes, Amphibian was the only marble to reach the 7.4 times. Out of those that didn't advance, they get 5th place. Wave Runner and Vagabond, 8th and 7th. Shiverburn makes it in the middle. Everyone's got a point now as we move on to the B-League final. Jolly Jogger, the Governor, Gravedigger, and Bone Rattler for the gold and the full 10 points. And it's Gravedigger and Jolly Jogger who are neck and neck from Heat 1 again. It's actually a 4-marble race coming down. Here comes the Governor, coming up from last place, and a charge across the line. The final hurdle from Bone Rattler wasn't enough to win it. Look at this, it's so close between all of them. This final hurdle could have gone anyone's way. And it's the Governor. We're hearing from stewards, it's the Governor who captures gold by just 0.02 of a second. And Gravedigger didn't look like it, but they were much further ahead of Jolly Jogger than the Governor was to Bone Rattler. How close was that? Look at this across the line again in real time. It is incredible. The final hurdle almost pulls it through for the Season 1 champion, but they have to settle for silver. The Governor wins B-League gold in Event 2. Gravedigger will come across the line in third place, so that's only repeat medalist so far is the Governor, as they also claim silver in the Moguls, and they lead the table over Jolly Jogger. Those two are the only ones with double-digit points so far. A two-way tie on 8 points, a three-way tie on 6, and Vagabond lonely at the bottom with just 2 points. Still a long way to go though, so it is still anyone's game, but the Governor and Jolly Jogger off to particularly good starts. Now we look to the A-League, of course. Butterscotch, Shining Dawn, they were the top two in the last event. Constellation was lucky to come home with a bronze, but they are the early podium finishers in the season, and when they are obviously split up across these heats. We'll see how they run in the hurdles. There you've seen Heat 3, Lightning Shark, Butterscotch, and Fast Fish, all competitors who have medaled in this event in the past. That could very well be a final, that heat, but it's lining up in just the first round, so we're going to see some early surprising exits here, no matter what. And here comes Heat 1 for the hurdles in the A-League. Shining Dawn, Spruce Log, Neoclassicist, and Tropic Thunder. and they're off. It's a quick start for Tropic Thunder, who immediately falls back behind the other three. Neoclassicist and Spruce Log, who's now pulled flying ahead, is going to win the heat. Spruce Log came from behind there for sure. They were close to being third place. A slow first couple of hurdles for Tropic Thunder, especially that second one really slowed them down. And here's Spruce Log's actually clearly in second place, but over just 2 hurdles, they get up into first. They're in third place, sorry, and they got up into first. Good run by Spruce Log in the second half, and Neoclassicus, one of the newcomers of that, will advance with them. Now we move on to Heat 2. Gordon, Sergeant Vaca, Lapis Lazuli, and Overgrowth. Overgrowth has seen their Season 2 beater of Spruce Log already advanced, but they're falling in fourth so far. Gordon is miles ahead on the top lane, flying for the win here. Sergeant Vaca and Lapis Lazuli were neck and neck the whole race. It was the Sergeant up in front, but look at this final hurdle. It's going to be close. Lapis Lazuli has the speed and will make it through. That is super disappointing for the newcomer Sergeant Vaca. Both green marbles in lanes 2 and 4 crash out here. Gordon with a 6.6 time. That is super duper fast. Lapis Lazuli sneaks through over Sergeant Vaca, who crashes out with Overgrowth, who has seen their runner in the championship, Spruce Log, beat them for a second event in a row. Heat 3 now. Blackcurrant, Fast Fish, Lightning Shark, and Butterscotch. All eyes on Lightning Shark in lane 3, the real master of this event, and already has the lead. Blackcurrant and Fast Fish, they're all really close here, but Blackcurrant falls back to the other two, and Butterscotch comes across the line in that final hurdle, blasting ahead of Fast Fish. As expected, the only other 6.6 time we've seen so far today, quicker than Gordon in lane 3, was Lightning Shark. Miles clear, won the heat by a country mile, but here's Fast Fish and Butterscotch. Fast Fish was barely in front in that final hurdle where so many marbles have come undone and has been the saviour for so many others. Gets Butterscotch through the top 2 of the final last year in that heat. Move on to the semi-finals. Constellation, Breakfast Rito, Golden Syrup and Ice Cold. Constellation, of course, got a great bronze last time. Has already got a huge lead here, set to advance. Breakfast Rito is comfortably in second place and will hold on to second place. From start to finish, that heat was basically the same. Golden Syrup and Ice Cold, slow start, couldn't bring it back from there. Constellation gets a 6.8. Breakfast Rito just above 7 seconds, but it was more than enough to beat these two and make it through to the semi-finals. Constellation, a good final hurdle as well, got even further clear of Breakfast Rito, but that was a pretty different story to the others. There was no contest there whatsoever for who was going to advance. Sergeant Vaca, after getting 16th in the previous event, is going to get the best of the rest here rather than the worst of the rest, and they get 9th place, 7 points to their name for the highest newcomer that didn't make it through. Here is the newcomer that did make it through. They're in semi-final A with Constellation, Butterscotch, Neoclassicist, and Gordon. Gordon was a screamer in the heats. Is a slow start here, and Constellation is off to a flyer. They're getting caught up by Gordon, though. He's coming back to win it again. Gordon's going to come across the line and win it, and no one can catch up to Constellation for second place, who's already secured himself 2 visits to a final in the first 2 events. Constellation's off to a great start. Can they make it 2 medals in a row, though? But Gordon, despite that slow start, 6.8, they came flying in the second half. Butterscotch and Neoclassicus just could not keep up with the speed of those 2 marbles. Gordon looks to be the favourite so far, but along with this other favourite, again in lane 3 is Lightning Shark, facing off against Lapis Lazuli, Spruce Log, and Breakfast Rito. Spruce Log, of course, the champion and one of the medalists last time out. Lightning Shark and Lapis, the two blue marbles, are clear so far. Can Lapis Lazuli hold on to second place as Lightning Shark clears ahead? Breakfast Rito is going to come close, but I don't think it was quite enough to beat out Lapis Lazuli. Here's a nice look at the finish line. Not quite. Lapis Lazuli will hold on and make it to the final, with Lightning Shark, who gets another very quick time, 6.7 seconds. Lightning Shark and Gordon look to be the 2 favourites. They've won both, the only competitors to, of course, win both of their heats. They will advance comfortably to the final with Lapis Lazuli and Constellation for the second batch of medals in the season. Breakfast Rito finishes in 5th, Butterscotch 6th, Spruce Log 7th, and Neoclassicus with 8th place. Still good scores for those 5th through 8th. It's not a bad result at all. So move on to the final. Who will master the bumps the best? Gordon, Lightning Shark, Lapis Lazuli, and Constellation. Those far lanes are going to be looked at. They're going to be looked at the most as they do pull ahead. Gordon clearing Lightning Shark. A unique winner is set in the hurdles as Gordon comes across to capture gold in event 2 of Terrain Marble Trials. Gordon proves himself as the maestro over Lightning Shark. The first time Lightning Shark has lost this event, comes home with a silver though, but Gordon was just on another level throughout today. They won the heat by a country mile, then got through a great comeback in the semi-finals, and Constellation secures 2 medals in a row to get another bronze. 28 points already for Constellation. They're going to be towards the top of the table, but Gordon will be up there, as will Lightning Shark. Good start to the season for those 3, but a wonderful performance, especially by those top 2. They are just the hurdles maestros, as proven throughout history. So the overall standings in the A-League has Gordon in first place by just 1 point over Butterscotch. Sitting behind them is Constellation, 2 points back from Butterscotch in third place. Only 2 medalists. Then you've got Lightning Shark, Lapis Lazuli, and Shining Dawn rounding out the top 6. Lapis Lazuli sandwiches 2 medalists, and we have our early front runners established in the first 2 events of the season. But up next, it is my honour to welcome you to the first Great Outdoors event in Terrain Rumble Trials Season 3 for Event 3 of the tournament. This is a race down the all kinds of unpredictable dirt race course. Hello everybody and welcome back to the season. It's been a couple weeks this time, but the competitors, of course, are ready and have adjusted already to the outdoor unpredictability of the dirt race. We'll see how this goes. We've got Gordon leading the championship in the A-League and the Governor leading the championship in the B-League. This event has been done once previously in a different location. Amphibian, Gordon and Spruce Log made up the top 3. Of course, they're in different leagues this time around, so that previous experience could help them win either one, as the demonstration runners show us this track, and it is a doozy. Look at that. 3 of them will not finish this race, and the green one comes along to comfortably win it as a result, but all the others crash out in different locations. Of course, all the way up there is pretty is a very early DNF. You don't want to get stuck all the way up there. As we look to the B League for this first run at the Dirt Dash, the Governor, Jolly Jogger, and Bone Rattler, of course, are at the top 3 for the time being. Gravedigger and Wave Runner are round out our 5 medalists and round out the top 5 of this tournament. As you can see, this track all kinds of chaotic. We'll see what happens here. One turn is just a straight blast otherwise. Here we go for the first race. Bone Rattler, Shiverburn, Amphibian, and Vagabond. And off we go. It is Vagabond who's up to the best start, fending off a challenge from Amphibian, but then both them and Bone Rattler get past the Shiverburn, stalls out early. Amphibians have got a big lead. Vagabond and Bone Rattler are fighting back and forth for second place. Bone Rattler's going to get it, but there were several swaps in position for second place there, but Shiverburn crashed out immediately, and Amphibian, with that previous experience, cruises into the final. 10.9, sub 11 seconds. Look at the Chaos Vagabond swerving up against the sharp edges. The closer you get to the walls, the bumpier and more likely it is you're going to stop and DNF if you go closer to the walls. There's Vagabond getting in front of Bone Rattler and just nudges off of the weeds toward the bottom when the track shrinks together, and Bone Rattler is able to sneak ahead. It does funnel in between the weeds a little bit, and it opens up again for the final stretch of the race. Now we move to Heat 2. They've seen how Heat 1 went. They know how this works. Wave Runner, Jolly Jogger, the Governor, and Gravedigger. Of course, several of these are at the top of the order, and it's the Gravedigger who leads the way, but the Governor pushes off of Gravedigger and launches to a massive lead. Pretty much stone cold for Gravedigger. Jolly Jogger's fighting Gravedigger, goes left, right, back and forth, can't get around, and comes to a stop, and Wave Runner from downtown wins and gets second place. Doesn't win, sorry, gets second place, but will win a ticket to the final. Gravedigger fell apart toward the end while the Governor was right there, just launched off of Gravedigger and was straight down the middle. Perfect run by the Governor. They'll keep their championship lead for the time being, with their second place runner Jolly Jogger crashing out and getting a DNF finish here. They'll only get 1 point. Juking back and forth was Jolly Jogger and almost pushed into the weeds by Gravedigger, but all that shoving let Wave Runner make the decisive move to get second place. Gravedigger was too focused on one marble and forgot about the other, who was making a spirited charge. Vagabond and Gravedigger were the only 2 marbles to finish the race that didn't advance. They'll get 5th and 6th. Jolly Jogger made it further down the Shiverburn and will get 1 point as a result. And we look to the final. Who will come away with the gold, silver and bronze? Only one of these will not get a medal, but then who's going to come across on that top step? And off they go. Amphibian with a slow start this time around, and it's Bone Rattler and Gravedigger who are clear of the rest. Gravedigger's coming in hot towards Bone Rattler, trying to make the move. They can't quite get past down the stretch. Into the weeds they come, and they can't quite get around. Bone Rattler will hold on from start to finish and win the race. Gravedigger will get second. Wave Runner stops at the finish line to get third. Amphibian did not even finish the race. We missed that one. Too focused on the front battle, as the Governor had a spirited charge. Right around here they come close, and then Bone Rattler's able to stretch out a little bit more, but then it was around here. Around the weeds, the Governor makes a huge attack, but the Bone Rattler is able to defend it perfectly and secure their first gold medal of this B-League. Governor and Wave Runner will get their second and third medals, respectively, Wave Runner will get their second, and Governor will get their third, and will comfortably lead this championship after that result. Best time over there was actually from the Gravedigger. Sorry, it was actually from the Governor across both rounds. They got the 2 best times in the final and the heats, and now lead this championship by 12 points. They cannot lose it in Event 4. Bone Rattler and Jolly Jogger are second and third now, with a bit of a gap back to Wave Runner in fourth. The B-League title race is already looking like a smashing from the governor, but how does it look over in the A-League? Of course, 2 events down, it's still very close. Gordon is over Butterscotch by 1, who's over Constellation by 2, who's over Lightning Shark by 3, and of course it's very, very close. Gordon only leading by 1 means this could be a very, very, very important event for anyone's title hopes. A gold here would be huge to get them back into the race, especially some of those lower competitors. One of them is, of course, Overgrowth, as they line up in lane 1 with Butterscotch, Gordon, and Ice Cold. Off we go, Butterscotch and Ice Cold off to the best starts. Butterscotch stalls out on the wall. Here comes Gordon around the outside, gets past Ice Cold, who's now fending off 2 challenging Butterscotch and Overgrowth. Overgrowth gets past for 3rd place. Gordon wins the race, down toward the line. Ice Cold loses it out to Overgrowth, who in the dirt would come through and get 2nd place on their home turf. Overgrowth with a great charge. There was a poor start, but they got past Butterscotch, and then they launched to the inside of Ice Cold, who lost out, really lost out. They were in 2nd place, they were in 1st place at around I was going to say 5th of the way through this course. They were in 1st place, and then at the weeds it really went wrong. Of course, once Overgrowth went through the Overgrowth, that was when they hit high speed and launched past Ice Cold right there. Butterscotch couldn't make anything happen after Overgrowth got past them. It just got blocked for the rest of the race. As we move on to Heat 2, Blackcurrant, Lapis Lazuli, Constellation, and Tropic Thunder. But Gordon and Overgrowth confirmed as semi-finalists, and Constellation's trying to get themselves into that semi. They've already got 2 bronze medals, but they suddenly stall out, and Blackcurrant and Tropic Thunder both rocket through. Constellation gets back in front, Lapis Lazuli gets in front of Tropic Thunder too, who makes a double move toward the end of the race and finishes in 2nd place behind Blackcurrant. What a race that was. Blackcurrant avoided all the carnage of the mid-pack in that race and just launched to a victory. Look at this move on Constellation, gets straight past a bump from Tropic Thunder actually, who goes around that stick. That was dangerous. Could have gotten caught easily there, and then Constellation gets past, as does Lapis, around both ends of Tropic Thunder, but they go too fast and they're able to make a good play through the weeds, beautiful line through the weeds, and get 2nd place. Blackcurrant, that was just too easy, but Tropic Thunder really had to work for that, a very deserved advancement for both. As we move to Heat 3, Spruce Slog, Golden Syrup, Lightning Shark, and Breakfast Burrito. Lightning Shark is in 4th place, just on the outside looking in of that podium, but is going to be on the outside looking in at advancement here. They fall back to 4th. Breakfast Burrito has got a huge lead here. Golden Syrup fending off a challenge from the Spruce Slog, they've done it exceptionally well so far, but as they reach the weeds, Spruce Slog's able to get around and secure 2nd place behind Breakfast Burrito. Those 2 will advance. Golden Syrup was defending mightily throughout most of that race, as Spruce Slog, naturally as proven as a faster racer, just could not get past Golden Syrup for most of that. Right, look at the defense Golden Syrup had to do, but it just wasn't enough. Toward the weeds, it was where Spruce Slog made his decisive overtake. Right there around the outside goes Spruce Slog. Lightning Shark had nothing doing, couldn't quite catch the front runners from the start of that race, and Requistrito and Spruce Slog confirmed their advancement as we move on to the final heat. Neoclassicist, Fast Fish, Shining Dawn, and Sergeant Vaca. Shining Dawn is up there, of course, a silver in the 1st event. Sergeant Vaca is very far down and gets up to a good lead here. Shining Dawn, though, gets the overtake done, as does Fast Fish. Neoclassicist is running, has some good speed carrying, and is able to at least get past for 3rd place, but they cannot do anything for the 2 advancing yellow and orange marbles. Shining Dawn and Fast Fish will get it through comfortably there. Fast Fish is off to a very slow start, but is able to maneuver around Neoclassicist, who goes very slow, and maneuver past Sergeant Vaca, who, after starting in 1st, fell all the way to 4th. That is very disappointing for one of the newcomers in this round. Both newcomers, in fact, crashing out to 2 previous runners of the sport. Fast Fish, of course, Season 1 veteran, and Shining Dawn was a Season 2 newcomer, doing well so far in Season 3. Neoclassicist gets best of the rest in 9th place, Golden Syrup in 10th place. Butterscotch, the winner of the 1st event, finishes in dead last and will likely fall off the overall podium after a result like that, especially when they're front runner, Gordon, is on to the semi-finals. They're going to hope they're looking likely to hold their lead here, but Tropic Thunder, Requistrito, and Fast Fish are going to do everything they can to knock them out. It's a good start for Fast Fish. They lead the way. Requistrito has come to a stop. I don't know what caused that, but Tropic Thunder has now gotten past for 2nd place. Fast Fish looks like to win. Gordon is in 2nd place now. Tropic Thunder is trying to make a lunge down the outside, and it was very close across the line. Fast Fish wins it, but who got 2nd? Tropic Thunder is going to get there! Tropic Thunder comes around the outside of Gordon and gets them on the finish line by 0.02 of a second. What a finish by Tropic Thunder and Gordon. A great race there. Requistrito just, all the momentum halted. It must have been a rock or something that no other competitors have hit, but Requistrito crashes out in the semi-finals properly. Fast Fish wins it comfortably despite a lot of swerving off the walls. There's Gordon making a move to get past Tropic Thunder. Then it goes a bit too far into the weeds, and Tropic Thunder is able to make that speed carry all the way across the finish line And that is two very very challenging advancements for Tropic Thunder. They've earned that final spot, along with, of course, Fast Fist. But Shannon Dawn, Overgrowth, Spruce Log, they're off the gates already. Blackcurrant was the fourth one. They're off to a very slow start. Spruce Log leads. Shannon Dawn is trying to get past in second place. Overgrowth is carrying some speed. They get past Spruce Log, who stalls. Shannon Dawn and Blackcurrant, they both come across the line. Neck on neck, Blackcurrant carried so much speed, but Overgrowth and Spruce Log, it didn't even matter. They stall out at the same spot on the course. Look at Blackcurrant there. They can't quite get past Shining Dawn, but it was super duper close. What the speed Blackcurrant carried there was incredible for a dirt race. Still can't believe that. Spruce Log though, what went wrong? Them and Overgrowth will DNF and crash out of the semi-final. This means Gordon will get fifth. They're the only semi-finalist to finish their race, didn't advance. Spruce Log came to a stop, and Overgrowth, despite wrapping around them, also came to a stop. All that momentum was halted by Spruce Log, and both of them will crash out in the semi-finals with the DNF. And there you go, Gordon best of the rest with a 5th place finish, but they will not make it to the final. This is a big chance for any of these four to make some moves. Overgrowth, Spruce Log, and Refrigerator, 6 to 8. As we look to the final, who's going to get the full 20 points here? Shining Dawn, Blackcurrant, Fast Fish, and Tropic Thunder for the gold in the dirt race. And it's Tropic Thunder who is off to a best start. For the first time ever, they're on the way to an actual win here without having to fight. They're miles clear of second place. Tropic Thunder is going to cruise across the line and win it. Blackcurrant is going to come through in second place, and Shining Dawn is going to hold on for third place, their second medal of these games. For Shining Dawn, that pretty much from start to finish didn't really change. Fast Fish fell off at the start and couldn't quite make up the ground. No one actually made any decisive overtakes out that race. Tropic Thunder was so far gone within just 2 seconds, and despite some rubbing against the walls there and not a great run through the weeds, it was just too little too late for Blackcurrant to make any sort of ground. Despite the speed they carried in the semi-finals, they will still secure a silver medal, and Shining Dawn will step on that bottom step, but Tropic Thunder, the newcomer, captures their first gold in Train Rebel Trials history, and the first gold of all the newcomers. Congratulations to Tropic Thunder, Blackcurrant, and Shining Dawn for a wonderfully worked podium. The overall standings for the A-League, Gordon now leads by 9 points over a two-way tie. Shining Dawn and Constellation are both on 33. Butterscotch now in 4th on 30. Tropic Thunder is up 8 spots into 5th place. Blackcurrant is up 5 into 7th. So it's chaos on the table after event 3, but Gordon now has the comfortable early advantage as we move on to an event they know how. The 4th trial of Terrain Rebel Trial Season 3 brings us the most simple one yet, a straight blast down this long wooden plane after 3 trials of quick thinking and agility and rapid decision making on the bumpy terrains. We now look to the sprint race, a simple drag race down that wooden ramp all the way down the wooden course, and that makes up the 4th event here today. Hello everybody and welcome back for Terrain Rebel Trials Season 3. We've got a nice quick one for you today. Based off of the title alone, you should know this is the sprint event. Of course, history has proved that Spruce Log, Blackcurrant, Gordon, and Bone Rattler and Lapis Lazuli, along with a few others, know how to do this. Spruce Log has gotten both silver medals in history so far in the sprint. Can they do it again? The defending champion, of course, does need to get some things going. We'll see how they go in the A-League, but of course, as per usual, we'll start with the B-League. Bone Rattler, of course, is in here, 3rd place in Season 1, but we're first going to talk about a correction. In the last event, the Governor was awarded a gold medal despite finishing the event in 2nd place. So, the real winner was Bone Rattler. They will receive the gold medal for the dirt race. It'll get fixed up now, and Governor will get 2nd place. So there you go. Governor will lose a gold, gain a silver. Bone Rattler will get the gold and lose their silver. That closes the gap to 4 less points than it was. So Governor on 26, and the Bone Rattler on 18. Is that an 8-point gap between the top 2? Formerly it was a 12-1. After the mistake fix, we're all good to go now. Gravedigger, Vagabond, Jolly Jogger, and Shiverburn. After the mistake from the last event, we're back underway for official roundings. Vagabond is going to clear this one and win the race comfortably. Jolly Jogger will get 2nd place. The 2 bright white marbles advance comfortably beyond Gravedigger and Shiverburn, who it was neck and neck, a 3-way battle for 2nd place here, and Jolly Jogger just nudges slightly off of Gravedigger to move ahead. The heat started very quickly. I was still going on about the governor change, but Vagabond's done well here to move along into the final, their first final visit for the B League. They've had a pretty slow start, has Vagabond. They can finally get things going now. Shiverburn comes across in last place, but Jolly Jogger will advance to now the Governor, Amphibian, Wave Runner, and Bone Rattler. Of course, those two that got the top two in the last event both line up here. It's Amphibian who gets away well. In second place, it was a three-way battle again, but Bone Rattler pulls clear of third place Wave Runner, and the Governor crawls across the line to finish in fourth and possibly in last place for the event too. That was a really slow finish. Amphibian got a great jump out of the gate and just stayed ahead off of that. But Bone Rattler did come pretty close to catching them toward the end, but it did not matter. Both will advance. Amphibian will win and make their way into the final with the best time of the day so far. 4.4, sub 4.5 is impressive on its own. Well done to Amphibian. Bone Rattler, of course, second place. And Gravedigger will capture best of the rest in 5th place. Amphibian is in 6th, Shiverburn 7th, and the Governor, the championship leader, cops an 8th place finish. If Bone Rattler captures gold or silver here, they'll be right up with the Governor. Jolly Jogger, Bone Rattler, Vagabond, and Amphibian for the gold medal in the B League. It's nice and quick, the B League. Then look at this. There's Bone Rattler pulling ahead in first place. Amphibian's coming up close behind Vagabond, who actually gets up close to Bone Rattler, does Amphibian. Vagabond secures third place over Jolly Jogger, but who got first there? It's a really close battle. Bone Rattler starts to drift right here and lets Amphibian, who keeps their path straight and true, catch right up behind Bone Rattler. It's really close, but I think Bone Rattler's going to hold on by the skin of their teeth, by the skin of their bones. Bone Rattler secures gold by 1/1000th of a second. Amphibian gets their first medal of these games, as does Vagabond, coming in second and third place. Jolly Jogger just misses out on securing their next medal, but Bone Rattler have already secured 2 golds, proving why they are a former champion despite their visit to the B League. What does this do for the overall table? It actually puts Bone Rattler up into first place. They've vaulted all the way past the Governor. It's still a big gap back to third place. Jolly Jogger and Amphibian are now close. Third and fourth, 19 and 18 points respectively. Shiverburn falls into last place. And now we look to the A-League. Of course, we've got Gordon, who is the most recent winner of the sprint race, in first place by 9 points. Shining Dawn and Constellation are on second and third with 33 points each, and Butterscotch, Tropic Thunder, and Lightning Shark round up the top 6. Of course, Tropic Thunder went up 8 spots to get into 5th after their gold in the last event. We'll see what happens in this one. Of course, this is a very, about as different as you can get from the dirt race. Very completely smooth terrain, and it's much quicker, so you put all your energy into the opening of the race and the drag race portion, and that should get you the best result. Let's see how the A-League can stack up. Fast Fish, Gordon, Tropic Thunder, and Neoclassicus make up Heat 1. And down they come, it's Gordon who gets up to the best start. The championship defender is going to keep it well here. Neoclassicus is going to get second place. Fast Fish and Neoclassicus were close. Tropic Thunder fell back very early and had no chance after that. A bump from Neoclassicus right off of the gate threw Tropic Thunder back, and that's probably the reason why Neoclassicus was able to get the edge over Fast Fish, who couldn't get past Gordon out of the gates. Tropic Thunder was especially slow. They'll be heading for a bottom 3 finish for sure in this event. 4.516, a great time by Gordon, one of the best we've seen across both leagues. But Tropic Thunder can't even manage to get lower than 7 seconds. That should be a bottom finish for sure. Heat 2, Reckless Rito, Blackcurrant, Lightning Shark, and Overgrowth, who will join Gordon and Neoclassicus in the building semi-finals. It's a 3-way battle for first place. Lightning Shark has pulled ahead of Reckless Rito, who was neck and neck with Blackcurrant, but Blackcurrant pulls away toward the end. In fact, actually, Reckless Rito had a go at first place right here. Lightning Shark and Blackcurrant were always neck and neck, but it was Reckless Rito who was trying to split the two and get up into the front, but they couldn't quite do it. They will crash out in the heats. Lightning Shark and Blackcurrant, only 18,000 separated them, but they will get through to the semi-finals together despite a close battle for first place. Overgrowth, nothing doing. They didn't really have a chance there at all. Heat 3, Golden Syrup, Spruce Log, Constellation, and Shining Dawn. Spruce Log, of course, 2 silver medals in this event prior. How can they do that? That history is working in their favor. They have the lead here. Constellation and Shining Dawn both come up close in second and third place. I believe Constellation held second, but Spruce Log will capture the win here and definitely advance. But Constellation and Shining Dawn, it's close, but I think Constellation just held on. It's actually a 3-way battle at this point. Oh, it was much closer than I thought, but it is just Constellation getting ahead of Shining Dawn. Golden Syrup falls back for a 4.8, 3/10 behind Shining Dawn in third place, and Spruce Log proving that experience. 4.471 is the best time we've seen so far today. Them and Constellation advance with, imagine they're chuffed about it. Heat 4, final heat, Lapis Lazuli, Ice Cold, Butterscotch, and Sergeant Vacker, and it's the 2 in lanes 1 and 2 they get off to the best start, but here comes Sergeant Vacker on a good finish to the line. They will finish in second place just behind Ice Cold.
Zuli had a good start but couldn't quite keep up with Sergeant Vaca, who I believe bumped off of Butterscotch to get a bit of a boost. In fact, Butterscotch comes right up next to Zuli for 3rd place. Oh, look at this! Sergeant Vaca actually beats Ice Cold to the line and gets the win in Heat 4. I didn't notice that. I thought Ice Cold had held on, but 11 thousandths. There was actually a bit more of a margin than I would have thought. I thought that would have been in the single thousandths, but it was really close. Sergeant Vaca with a great push gets through to the top half of the table for the first time this season. Shining Dawn, best of the rest. They will lose out on their two-way tie to Constellation, who was able to advance and will race in semi-final B. But first we look to what the championship leader, can do. Gordon's in lane 1 with Ice Cold, Spruce Slog and Blackcurrant. It's Ice Cold who gets the best push from the gate. Spruce Slog's coming up wide, as is Gordon. It's a three-way battle across the line. I don't know who got it. It was so close. Ice Cold had a full-length lead here, but then just starts fading fast. Here comes Spruce Slog and Gordon around both sides. Spruce Slog is right next to Ice Cold. Gordon's a bit far away, and Ice Cold's thrown it all away. They fall from 1st to 3rd in the final 4th of the race, and Gordon and Spruce Slog. Gordon's going to get another advantage in the championship here. Is going to keep pulling away, but Spruce Slog keeps it close, and they come across in 2nd place. Ice Cold devastated to miss out. Blackcurrant had no chance, but Gordon and Spruce Slog secure their spots in the final. Lightning Shark, Sergeant Vaca, Constellation and Neoclassicus. It's Sergeant Vaca who leads. Suddenly comes to a stop. Constellation and Lightning Shark will pull ahead to advance to the final. Sergeant Vaca, what went wrong there? Neoclassicus was also in 2nd place, but Sergeant Vaca's sudden slowdown absolutely took Neoclassicus out of the race as well. It was drafting behind Sergeant Vaca, trying to get around. Couldn't be done. Constellation kept it straight and true. Perfect for a 4.5 time. Lightning Shark pretty much picking up the scraps there, because Neoclassicus and Sergeant Vaca taking each other out gave Lightning Shark an easy advancement. They will move on to the final. Ice Cold in 5th place despite just missing out. They will get best of the rest at the very least. Blackcurrant in 6th, Neoclassicus and Sergeant Vaca 7th and 8th. It's a best finish of the season for Sergeant Vaca at the very least, but they still have some work to do. Now for the final. Gordon, Constellation, Spruce Slog and Lightning Shark. How much of a gap is Gordon going to build? Constellation, no, Lightning Shark has got the best start. Constellation, Gordon, neck and neck. There's a nudge across the line, and Lightning Shark swerved into Gordon, and Constellation made a move. Wasn't enough to win the race. It was so close. Constellation came up right next, right here. Lightning Shark swerves into Gordon, which slows Gordon down dramatically, but lets Constellation get close, but it's not quite close enough. I believe Lightning Shark secures gold. And they have by 2/2000ths of a second, 1/100th, separated the top 3. Gordon was almost there for gold again. That could be the difference between a championship and not later on down the line. Keep this loss in mind. Gordon falls to 3rd at the end, but Lightning Shark secures their first gold of these games, their first non-hurdles gold in their career, and their 2nd medal of these games. Constellation, Gordon, what a podium. What a sprint race this was. Congratulations. So it was 9 points for today, but Constellation getting their 3rd medal of these games means it's just down to 6. Constellation's in 2nd behind Gordon. Lightning Shark in 3rd, Shining Dawn and Blackcurrant 4th and 5th. Spruce Slog moves up 4 spots into 6th place. Defending champion starting to make some moves despite missing that podium, but Gordon is still comfortably in the driver's seat here. But Constellation with 3 medals is on the move. What can they do to try and catch up to Gordon in the next event, the ever classic? It's not often when an individual realizes that they are currently experiencing history, but today will be a historic moment in Train Rebel Trials and the Big Jangus channel's history, with Event 5, the halfway point of Train Rebel Trials Season 3, the ever-classic bracket-style staple of the series, the whole shot rollback. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Train Rebel Trials Season 3. Of course, as mentioned, today is a very special day. For today is the final broadcast ever from this current Train Rebel Trials, Big Jangus Marbles, however you want to call it. It is the final broadcast from this stadium. You'll never see this grey carpet ever again. This place will be torn down for a new one. You'll see in Event 7, because Event 6 will feature the downhill drag hallway that is forever iconic. So these next 2 events are going to feature these locations for the final time, and the whole shot rollback is pretty much the perfect way to send it off. It is the bracket style event of the series. There has been no bracket style event since, and it's been in both seasons. Gordon, the winner in Season 1. Golden Syrup, the winner in Season 2. And we'll see how those previous winners shake up today. in the competition. As we line up for, of course, the B-League first, this is going to be the longest broadcast in history as well, due to the 2 record-style events we have to go through. And Heat 1 of the B-League lines up now. Vagabond and the Governor. Of course, it's all about going up the ramp and getting back down to the bottom as quickly as possible. It does not matter how high or low you go, but as the Governor just proved, it is definitely better to go low. The Governor stalls up the ramp much quicker than Vagabond and comfortably beats them by over 5/10 of a second. Easy win there. They did go back and forth on the way down and weren't particularly fast, but Vagabond couldn't make use of a bounce off the top wall to get more speed and catch up. So the Governor advances to the semi-finals. Jolly Jogger, of course, in season, and Amphibian in Heat 2. This is, of course, a Boxing Day fixture as well, so that makes it all the more exciting. Jolly Jogger up to the lead, has the lead going down the ramp, and will hold it all the way to the end. Amphibian just went a little bit too high and couldn't get a perfect rebound to make up the speed. So Jolly Jogger gets the win there, moves on to the semi-finals. Of course, Christmas season around the world. It's Boxing Day in Australia where this is being broadcasted. Amphibian comes flying down the ramp here, of course. Can't quite catch up to Jolly Jogger and will crash out in the heats. Jolly Jogger does advance tis the season. Now we move on to Heat 3. Shiverburn and Wave Runner. Both have had varying success. Shiverburn is, of course, last in the table. Wave Runner has some work to do. Wave Runner now comes around town of Shiverburn, wraps around the outside and blocks Shiverburn all the way down the ramp and advances with a very nice defensive display. Shiverburn cannot get anything going again this season, and a 6.2 time is relatively slow. Could be towards the bottom of the order again. Now here's Wave Runner. They go around Shiverburn in a great wraparound move and then block them in the second half of the course, keeping it all the way to the end. Shiverburn cannot get enough speed to wrap around like Wave Runner did to them. They're out in the heats, and we move on to the final heat of the B-League. Gravedigger versus Bone Rattler. Of course, both surprised to be in the B-League at all, and it's pretty even going up the ramp. Bone Rattler suddenly goes way higher as Gravedigger's able to stop a bit earlier. Bone Rattler cannot take advantage of the gained speed, and Gravedigger wins and moves along to the semi-finals. We have our 4 semi-finalists confirmed. Bone Rattler, the championship leader, of course, was ahead of the Governor by 2 points. Will crash out, and the Governor actually advanced, as did Jolly Jogger in 3rd place, but Jolly Jogger is, of course, a way behind of those top 2. So, big chance for the Governor here to reassume P1 in the table. They have to get past Jolly Jogger to do it though, because they go to the 3rd place round. It is unconfirmed. We could have a tie at the end of this event. Semi-final A, of course, will be the Governor versus Jolly Jogger, lining up to try and confirm their spot in the gold medal match. The Governor goes a bit higher than Jolly Jogger, can't quite reach the wall either, comes flying down the ramp, but Jolly Jogger keeps the speed up, and it's enough to advance to the final. Governor, look at that. It was straight up for the Governor, basically, and also straight down. They didn't make any mistakes on the way down the ramp. A perfect line in between 2 rows of gaps, but Jolly Jogger was swerving a bit, but didn't slow down enough to let the Governor catch up. Jolly Jogger confirms a spot in the final. The Governor will go to the 3rd place match. Wave Runner and Gravedigger, which one of these will confirm those spots? Gravedigger is looking to go higher and does. Wave Runner stalls out and goes back and forth to defend. Gravedigger all over the place. Was both competitors there, swerving all around the track, and Wave Runner confirms the advancement by less than a 10th. A very close race there, but look at the desperation of Gravedigger to try and get around. They go to the right to try and get back. Wave Runner cuts that off, swerves back to the left as Gravedigger, but can't quite catch the speed, and Wave Runner for safety also swerves to the left to block it off. Great racing by those two, but Gravedigger comes up short, and we'll go to the 3rd place round with the Governor. Jolly Jogger and Wave Runner will fight for the gold. If Governor finishes this event and gets the bronze, they will be ahead of Bone Rattler in the standings by 2 points. If not, if they finish in 4th, it'll be a tie. Gravedigger is going to go higher up the ramp, but goes super high, hits the back wall perfectly, and passes the Governor on the way back down. Gravedigger secures their 2nd medal of these games, another bronze medal. And it was a pretty clear win too, nearly half a second. Governor went up a bit too high there. Gravedigger went higher, but was able to bounce off the wall to perfection. We've talked about that so far. We were yet to see it. The Governor will finish in 4th place and will be equal on points with Bone Rattler. How will Jolly Jogger and Wave Runner have a chance to catch up now, with both those competitors not having the best outings this afternoon? It's a good start by Wave Runner, but goes a bit too high. Jolly Jogger is able to stall out quickly. Wave Runner's got the speed down the ramp though. Jolly Jogger kept it close, going too slow down the ramp, but it was just enough to hold on. 6/1000ths of a second actually separated those 2 races, and Jolly Jogger gets the win in the festive spirit. How good is that? Wave Runner though had this look at the speed Wave Runner had a little bit longer, and they would have secured the win there over Jolly Jogger, who did stop earlier but did not slow down enough to let Wave Runner catch up. Wave Runner will get silver, Gravedigger the bronze, but Jolly Jogger comes home in the Christmas spirit to win the event. And what does this do for the table? Jolly Jogger, the top 3 remain unchanged. In fact, most of them remain unchanged. But now look at the gaps. First through third, separated by just 1 point. Wave Runner is 8 points off of the lead. But them and Gravedigger currently have the outside looking in. They need to make some moves, so they're going to catch up. But it is now anyone's game in the B League with how close it has gotten. And now we look to the A League. Gordon leads by 6 points over Constellation, who's 3 clear of Lightning Shark, who's 7 clear of Shining Dawn. Blackcurrant, Spruce Log, and Neoclassicist are 5th to 7th, and they all went up, so they're all in the last event, so they've all got the form to push ahead and try and gain on those leaders in this event, but it all depends on how they go. Of course, Gordon is facing up against Spruce Log. What a blockbuster match that is, and just the heats. 2 Decorated Marbles facing off in Heat 3. We got a ways to go. 2 races to go before that, and these will be just as good with Heat 1, Ice Cold and Fast Fish. 2 Season 1 veterans yet to really hit the ground running in this competition. Ice Cold gets higher than Fast Fish and tries to wrap around. Fast Fish blocks perfectly on the right side and holds it to the end. Ice Cold was trying valiantly, especially on the rebound at the very, very top. They tried to get around early, but got stuck behind Fast Fish. Here's the move to try and get around, but Fast Fish can't quite do it. In fact, Ice Cold actually gets caught in a line of gaps, and that did not help. And then right there, Fast Fish pulls away and secures the win. They will advance to the quarterfinals. Ice Cold, nothing doing. Heat 2, Lapis Lazuli and Butterscotch, 2 more Season 1 veterans. Both would have done this event twice, as they both have they're perfect attendees. They're even going up the ramp. It's all about the speed down the ramp now. Lapis Lazuli is going to get a cruise across the line just in time ahead of Butterscotch. They were perfectly even up the ramp. They basically stopped at the exact same point. Right there. One straight track away from the end. Lapis Lazuli is able to clear Butterscotch, cutting them off there. Butterscotch tries to go over to the left to try and get an overtake, but can't quite pull it off. And now here we have our blockbuster. Spruce Log versus Gordon. 2 Decorated Marbles in this competition. Down they come to try and secure quarterfinals. It's Gordon who slows down first and is shoving Spruce Log against the wall, slowing them down, but Spruce Log's able to make the overtake in the very last second and advance to the quarterfinals, knocking out the championship leader. How did he pull that off? Let's see, there was less than only 300s between them. Here's Gordon shoving Spruce Log against the wall, but they're caught in a line of gaps, and eventually it comes back to bite them right there. They get too much air, and Spruce Log's able to find the fleeting opportunity to make the overtake, and Gordon is out. Big chance now for some of these competitors. Shining Dawn is one of them to try and gain some ground on the standings. Sergeant Vacker will try and stop Shining Dawn's pledge to the title, and Shining Dawn does cut Sergeant Vacker off perfectly on the rebound, runs to the line and wins it. Sergeant Vacker will crash out as one of the newcomers again, struggling to get a good run in these events. There was a little bit of contact right there as they slowed down, and that pushed Sergeant Vacker up a little bit too high and rattled their run down the ramp. Shining Dawn wins comfortably, and that's half our heats done through. 4 spots locked and loaded as we move on to the second half of the heats. Overgrowth versus Tropic Thunder. Of course, Tropic Thunder 1 gold, a few events to go. Overgrowth yet to really get started this season as the defending runner-up, but is able to get ahead of Tropic Thunder well here and blocks perfectly on the rebound. Overgrowth will advance, finally getting through. Again, for the second time this season, they're going to get a top half result. Tropic Thunder cannot replicate their Dirt Dash success, but look at this right here. Huge moment in that race. Tropic Thunder rebounds much quicker than Overgrowth does, but Overgrowth gets in the perfect positioning to block Tropic Thunder and stall out any momentum they may have had. Great defending. Overgrowth able to advance. Breakfast Rito and Lightning Shark in Heat 6 of the event. It's even down the ramp, but going up the ramp, Lightning Shark stalls immediately. It's already over. Before I could comment on Breakfast Rito's race, Lightning Shark had already cruised across the line in less than 4.5 seconds. A full second and a half almost separates those two competitors. Lightning Shark stopped immediately, 4.4 second time, cruised to a victory. Breakfast Rito had no chance there. Lightning Shark was just on another level in terms of stalling skills. As we move on to Heat 7, Golden Syrup versus Constellation. Of course, Constellation's in second place, but Golden Syrup is a previous winner in this event. They go a bit higher than Constellation does. They have to try and gun down to the line now. They have the speed, but it's not quite enough to get there. Constellation will move on to the quarterfinals by the skin of their teeth. Golden Syrup had the speed there, but just went a little bit too high at the top and not the perfect rebound. Now the Constellation was quicker to get back down the ramp. Here's the speed from Golden Syrup. They have a great line. They actually caught themselves out a little bit toward the end in the gaps. That actually may have been the difference maker, but they will go out. There will not be any repeat golds here. The final heat. Neoclassicist versus Blackcurrant, both on the rise in the last event. Which one will continue to rise? Blackcurrant has the lead, but Neoclassicist off the wall flies ahead of Blackcurrant and wins the race comfortably. Look at the speed Neoclassicist got at the end of the race there. That was fantastic business. They go very high up the ramp, bouncing off the wall. Perfect. bouncing off, and Blackheart, who just swerved into the right wall, almost trying to block Neoclassicus, but mistimed the turn, and that let Neoclassicus just come flying through and win the race. And we have our 9th to 16th locked in. Golden Syrup will get 9th place, and look at that, championship leader Golden secures a goose egg, 0 points. What does this mean? Several competitors now are going to be making huge gains in the championship. Golden could lose at least one position. You're going to lose at least one position here. You'd think, based on how many teams, competitors are that close. And in all my talking, Fast Fish has already come across the line to secure a quarter-final win over Lapis Lazuli and is onto the semis. How did that play out? So Lapis Lazuli went a little bit too high, won by 2.5 tenths did Fast Fish. Here's a good rebound point here. Lapis Lazuli, oh, could have made an overtake, but they swerved into Fast Fish by going toward the right. That probably was a bit of a mistake on Lapis' end, but Fast Fish secures semi-finals on a good run down the ramp, and now you move on to quarterfinal B. Spruce Logo, of course, put up a great show to get past Gordon in the heats. Shining Dawn now has faced with fending them off. Shining Dawn goes a bit lower. Spruce Log tries to go around, but gets caught up in the gaps on the way back down. Shining Dawn has advanced to the semi-finals. Spruce Log can't quite get there. Where did it go wrong? I swear Spruce Log had a better rebound and seemed to be catching a bit more speed. It was right about, it was there as they started moving toward the left. They caught up a gap of a line of gaps, and they slowed down dramatically, letting Shining Dawn secure the win. Quarterfinal C, Overgrowth versus Lightning Shark. They both did very well in their heats. Lightning Shark especially was excellent in their heats, but has gone far too high here. The complete opposite of their run in the heats. They're going to crash out very fast. Overgrowth almost saw what Lightning Shark did in the heats and used their own tricks against them as they stalled very early. 5.1 is one of the best times we've seen all day. Lightning Shark, one of the slowest in the quarterfinals so far. Despite their miraculous run in the heats, they will crash out here and finish in 5th to 8th. But Overgrowth secured a top 4 result for the first time this season. Finally has got some movement going here. Now quarterfinal D, Constellation versus Neoclassicus, both of which are on the rise. Constellation is of course second in the championship. What can they do to make some moves on Gordon? Neoclassicus has the lead right now and was going to hold on to it. Constellation had so much more speed than Neoclassicus, but did not have the movement to go around. They just smacked right into them from behind, and Neoclassicus is unlucky to get through there. Neoclassicus gets caught on the way back down in the gaps terribly, and Constellation has so much speed, but just gets blocked by Neoclassicus on that right side of the track, and Constellation is out, a 5th to 8th result. Neoclassicus secures a spot in the next round. In fact, Constellation gets 8th place, but that will definitely be enough to already pass Gordon in the standings. I don't know who's going to be in first, with competitors like Shining Dawn and Neoclassicus also advancing. It depends on how they'll go. But Gordon's going to lose the championship lead here outright. Semi-final A, it's getting real dicey now. Fast Fish and Shining Dawn. Fast Fish goes a bit higher, can't quite reach the wall either. It's all about the speed at the rebound now. Shining Dawn's going to secure it. Fast Fish could not reach the wall and could not capture the speed needed to get back in front of Shining Dawn. Shining Dawn, of course, has done very well so far this event, has not really put a foot wrong, a roll wrong at all. They do catch a few gaps on the way back down there, but Fast Fish, going diagonal, couldn't quite make up the ground, despite Shining Dawn's less than perfect run. As we move on to semi-final B, Shining Dawn has secured a spot in the gold medal match. Overgrowth versus Neoclassicus. And down they come. It's pretty even. Overgrowth stops first. Neoclassicus has got to make a great run here to make any chance. It's not going to happen. They stall out in way too many gaps on the way down. And Overgrowth, who has secured 2 bronze medals in this event, by the way, in both previous iterations, is about to secure a silver at least. 3 from 3 for the medals in the whole shot rollback by Overgrowth. They are fantastic at this event. This would be the event where they start turning their season around. Neoclassicus will go to the 3rd place round with Fast Fish, but Shining Dawn and Overgrowth, a battle that is for the final. Those two don't like each other across history. How will that pan out? Will Overgrowth be able to secure their first gold in history, or will Shining Dawn flaunt them and take their own first gold in history? But first we must look to the 3rd place round before we see that blockbuster finale. Fast Fish and Neoclassicus, both of course looking for their first medal in these games. Neoclassicus is looking for their first medal in history. They go a bit higher than Fast Fish. They're both on the right side. Fast Fish goes slow, but Neoclassicus goes even slower, and Fast Fish is securing the 3rd place match here and gets bronze. Look at this, on the right side, in the gaps, Fast Fish goes very slow right there, but Neoclassicus is swerving diagonal and can't make up any progress during Fast Fish's brief slowdown, and it's not good enough. They will crash out and get 4th, but Shining Dawn and Overgrowth line up for the gold medal match. The winner of this will secure their first gold in history, and down they come. It's Shining Dawn who stops first. Overgrowth goes a bit higher, and it's really slow on the turnaround. It's game over for Overgrowth. They'll finish this event in 2nd place. Shining Dawn is going to cruise across the line for gold. The pivotal moment was right here. Overgrowth goes almost diagonal far too many times, letting Shining Dawn get a great run down the ramp. I don't even think it really mattered. Shining Dawn's finish was spectacular. Overgrowth just had to be a little bit quicker, maybe even go up and hit the wall, and that could have gotten them a chance. But Shining Dawn secures their first gold medal in history. Overgrowth, still the most medals in Terrain Marble Trials history, holds that record after today, and Fast Fish secures third. History, history, history today. And as the marbles roll out of the stadium for the final time, it is Shining Dawn who's taken the lead, gone up 3 spots into first. Gordon falls off the podium completely as Constellation and Lightning Shark hold their podium places. Overgrowth is up several spots into 12th. Fast Fish is now into the top half. It is really hitting up at the top as Shining Dawn leads, but only 4 points separate the top 3, and the next event will also be historic. The final event. Entering the second half of Terrain Marble Trials Season 3 features the first full event that is not a stone-cold racing event in series history, the Uphill Drag, which is all about speed preservation and getting as high up the ramp as possible. It is not a racing event for the first time in history and the last time we will feature in this room. Hello everybody, it is time for the home stretch of the series to officially begin, and things are heating up at the top after Gordon's big mistake in the previous event, getting last place. It leads Constellation, Shining Dawn and Lightning Shark to all pass them, and Gordon's fallen from the podium, but it's very close at the top though, so it is anyone's game coming into this event and the second half of the season. We'll see how it goes, but the Uphill Drag event, this is its first, it's made an appearance for the competition. It's featured in the qualifiers though, so everybody here has got a chance to compete. And speaking of heating up competition, the B League here has a 1 point gap between the top 3 marbles. Bone Rattler, the Governor and Jolly Jogger are all gunning very well so far. Wave Runner, of course, with the right permutations can still take the lead in the table after this event, but needs to win gold as they're 8 points behind the leaders. So this will be a simple, unlike in the qualifiers, which is a distance-based event only. This one is based on just one heat, and also everyone got 2 rounds in the qualifiers, apologies. You only get 1 round here, 1 straight blast to get as high up the ramp as you can. So let's see how it goes, and there is advancement to the final. So Bone Rattler, Gravedigger, Jolly Jogger who leads, and Shining Dawn coming down now, and it's Bone Rattler and Jolly Jogger, the 2 contenders in the title, who will advance to the final. Gravedigger and Shiverburn crash out in the heats early on, as expected, because Jolly Jogger and Bone Rattler were of course the better contenders in the qualifiers for this event, so that previous experience has paid off well. Previous results going in the favour as the marbles proved. Jolly Jogger and Bone Rattler are under the final for the B League. Now can the Governor, the other contender, join them, with Wave Runner, Vagabond and Amphibian trying to stop them. Wave Runner of course is in 4th place. Vagabond and Amphibian, who are leading comfortably here down the ramp and will go the highest up, they will advance. The Governor has a terrible push down the ramp and will finish this heat in last place. Wave Runner will finish again 3rd but will not advance. Vagabond and Amphibian just pulled away at the start and launched up the ramp perfectly, just to not quite reach 120. Same results, similar scores to the previous run, but the Governor couldn't even crack 192.8. That is very poor. I didn't quite catch Shiverburn's score, so we'll see what that equals on the table. It is the Governor who finishes in last place. 0 points, they'll fall to 3rd in the table. 100% here. It's going to be between the Bone Rattler and Jolly Jogger to see who takes the lead after this event and who's going to capture gold though. Vagabond and Amphibian are yet to claim a gold this season. Can one of them snag it from the championship title runners? It's an even push from the gate. Amphibian and Jolly Jogger, who seem to be pulling away, slow down out of nowhere, and it's Vagabond who picks up the scraps and captures gold in the Uphill Drag. Bone Rattler will get 2nd and take the lead in the table. Look at the push here from Vagabond. They were behind Bone Rattler as well. They got in front of everybody on the way up the ramp. That is perfect stuff by Vagabond. They capture gold here today. 120.1 is the score, the best score as well from the B League. Saving the best for last was Vagabond, capturing the win here. Bone Rattler and Amphibian by just 1 millimeter will round out the podium. Very nice stuff from the B League runners, showing us how this Uphill Drag works in a historic non-racing event. And Bone Rattler, being the first marble to reach 4 medals in the B League, now leads by 5 points over Jolly Jogger, who's a further 3 over the Governor. Amphibian and Vagabond both move up into 5th and 6th respectively, knocking Gravedigger down to 7th, and Shiverburn still in last, yet to even get a medal.
as we move on to the A-League. Now look at this, 4 points separate the top 4 in the A-League. Shining Dawn, Constellation and Lightning Shark, and then it's a bit of a drop back to Spruce Log, Neoclassicist, Fast Fish and Lapis Lazuli. 6 points separate those 5th to 8th spots, but they round out the top half. So how can anyone attack Shining Dawn, who now leads after getting gold in the previous event, their first gold in history? Can they hold this lead over very intense competition? They're running there in Heat 3 with Spruce Log and Lapis Lazuli. Gordon, who's just lost the lead, is running in Heat 3, and Constellation is in Heat 4. Lightning Shark lines up for the first heat with Neoclassicist, Ice Cold and Breakfast Burrito. Of course, Lightning Shark is the highest running table runner here. Let's see how they can go against these 3 competitors. It's Ice Cold and Breakfast Burrito who seem to be going very quickly, but suddenly Ice Cold slows to a crawl, and it's Neoclassicist who comes flying up to join Breakfast Burrito as the quick runners to advance. Lightning Shark cannot quite make it, despite picking up some speed toward the end here. They both get past Ice Cold, and then there's Breakfast Burrito, and a great launch by Neoclassicist is what's pushing them over the line. Breakfast Burrito and Neoclassicist will advance. We've already lost one the top 1 of the big 4 of this season. Lightning Shark crashes out, but does finish in 3rd, so they will not finish in a particularly poor spot, depending on how these other runs go. Heat 2 has Shining Dawn, Spruce Log, Lapis Lazuli and Sergeant Vaca. It's an even push from the gate, but Shining Dawn is not going to advance comfortably. They slow down toward the end of the ramp and cannot get up at all. Sergeant Vaca is also not going to join. Spruce Log and Lapis Lazuli will advance, and it is the defending champion who gets the win here. Oh no, it's not. Sorry, Lapis Lazuli was a little bit higher up the ramp, just a miss. I was still watching Shining Dawn in the heats. They fall out with 115.7. Lapis Lazuli gets the win and the best score of the day by a mile, 120.8. They advance with Spruce Log. Now we got Heat 3, Butterscotch, Blackcurrant, Gordon and Tropic Thunder. Gordon's got a point to prove after their first bottom 3 result since season 1 is going to come through strongly here and advance into the semi-finals with Butterscotch, who gets 2nd place. Tropic Thunder will be comfortably behind the rest. Blackcurrant will not advance, getting 3rd place here. Great run by Gordon. A good amount of speed down the ramp and plenty of speed going up the ramp as well. Was able to maintain that momentum in the opposite direction. Butterscotch gets 2nd. Tropic Thunder is only barely able to get 100. They'll be down in the order you would expect. Final heat. Overgrowth, Golden Syrup, Constellation and Fast Fish. We've had only Gordon advance so far out of the big 4 championship contenders, and this time we're going to have 2 because Constellation is going to get up there and advance with Fast Fish. Overgrowth and Golden Syrup were nowhere to be seen in that race. They fell back at the start and could not pick up any scraps from Constellation or Fast Fish. Potential mistakes, which they made none. Constellation and Fast Fish get through here comfortably. We have Constellation and Gordon of the big 4 to advance. Fast Fish will of course join. Shining Dawn and Lightning Shark are going to expect some losses here, although as I say that, the current standings drops up, and in 9th place Lightning Shark and in 6th place Shining Dawn. So they've, despite not advancing, the damage control in this event has been successful for those 2 marbles. I'll just have to pray and watch now as Gordon and Constellation face each other in semi-final A. Lapis Lazuli and Neoclassicist are going to try and beat them out. It's even out of the gates. It's going to be a 3-way battle at the ramp for 2nd place, but Neoclassicist clears them all. Neoclassicist will advance, but who got 2nd? All 3 of the other rollers were so close. Let's have a look at this. Neoclassicist was quick and strung up the ramp. It's a 3-way battle, and just by the skin of their teeth, I think the angle's not doing well for Lapis Lazuli, and it is Gordon who's going to get through. Constellation will go out only 7mm behind Gordon, who's only 2cm clear of Lapis Lazuli. What a close battle that was. Gordon has snuck through and is the only big 4 marble still in this event. Butterscotch, Fast Fish, Breakfast Burrito and Spruce Log come down for semi-final B as I'm speaking. It's Breakfast Burrito who comes from behind to win it, and Spruce Log will get 2nd, the defending champion, finally making their way into a final. Fast Fish was the quickest down the ramp, but then up here they can't quite reverse the momentum back to go up the ramp, and Breakfast Burrito is going to get a wonderful score here, 122.3, a flyer by Breakfast Burrito to get through to the final, and Spruce Log will come through in 2nd place. Butterscotch and Fast Fish are both out. Chaos in the semi-finals. What a close brawl it was in semi-final A, and it lets Butterscotch, they'll get 5th place. Fast Fish, Lapis Lazuli, Constellation finishes in 8th. The last of 5th to 8th order as we look to the final. Neoclassicist, Spruce Log, Gordon and Breakfast Burrito. How big of a gap is Gordon going to build here, assuming they retake the lead? Down they come. It's Breakfast Burrito who looks the quickest, but slows down up the ramp. It's going to be a 3-way battle for the lead again, and this time I think it's Spruce Log who takes the cake. I don't know who got 2nd, but I do believe Spruce Log's captured gold here, chopping everyone down. Let's wait and see for the screenshot.
this still tells me it is Spruce Slug who captures gold today. Neoclassicist and Gordon in that order will round out the podium. Less than 2 centimeters separate the competitors. What a round it was for Spruce Slug, getting back onto the top step of the podium for the defending champion, and 120s and 119s across the board. A perfect run pretty much by Spruce Slug today. It is Neoclassicist and Gordon with a 3rd medal in these games to get up and moving back to the top step of the table. Congratulations to these podium finishers here today. The table now looks like this. Gordon is clear of Shining Dawn by, a 3-way tie for second. Shining Dawn, Spruce Slug and Constellation are all on 66. Lightning Shark and Neoclassicist are on 63. Gordon in the lead is on 70. 7 points separate the top 6 in the table as Spruce Slug and Neoclassicist getting top 2. They've joined the battle now. It's become a big 6 in the competition as the next chaotic event, Rocky Road, is set to take. With the competition heating up, we come into Event 7, into the bright sunshine, the bright heat of the afternoon, into an event that will seriously be affected by some windy conditions. It is the Rocky Road for Event 7 of Terrain Mobile Trials Season 3. Hello everybody, welcome back to the Great Outdoors. We've last seen this, of course, in Event 3. We plunged into the dirt, but today we've got a long, straight blast down some of the bumpiest and most unpredictable terrain we've seen so far, and borderline dangerous. This event is, of course, not easy for the racers. It is a tough terrain with plenty of natural elements in the way. There are leaves all over the track, dirt everywhere as well to get in the way, but it is of course a longer race. It is heats of 8, the only heats of 8 event in the series, and of course Butterscotch and Shiverburner, our 2 previous winners. Overgrowth, Gravedigger and a few others have former success here as well. Butterscotch, of course, out of those names are listed, is the only one in the A-League, so they've got the best advantage coming in here after a poor run of form despite winning that first gold. Here's the demonstration runners giving it a go. You can see it's all about swerving side to side, keeps you out of the middle and that dirt section. The dirt does all cake toward the middle, so if you can swerve side to side into the clean parts of the track, you might be able to gain some more speed. And now we start the event with the B-League. Bone Rattler, Jolly Jogger and the Governor all within 8 points of each other, but it is Bone Rattler 5 points clear in first place. The only quadruple medalist so far this season. Season 1 champion is proving that they are still a worthy runner despite that failing to qualify. It'll be one race for the B-League, one race to determine the medals. This will be it. From Amphibian in position 1 down to Shiverburn in position 8 in the starting gates, ready to go. And the B-League is underway, and there you see the Governor and Jolly Jogger, in fact, the 2 trying to gain on Bone Rattler, who move up into first and second place. It's Shiverburn, though, now, who gets up into second place. The Governor's got a big lead up ahead. A gust of wind suddenly blows through. It blows debris all over the track and majorly slows down the Governor. Here comes Jolly Jogger up to 4th and into 2nd out of nowhere, but the Governor parries back. Here comes Gravedigger now, made up a few spots, gets past Jolly Jogger, and is again blocked by the Governor. The Governor was not rattled at all by the wind, and they keep going strong. They look to cruise here, but here comes Gravedigger. They got more speed, swerving back and forth, side to side down the track. They're not going to quite catch the Governor. A 30-second race set lets the Governor to B-League gold. Gravedigger will get silver, and look at this, finally, to secure their first medal of these games, Shiverburn will get 3rd. It is a quick 8 marble race, but it is still chaotic. Jolly Jogger's come to a stop. Vagabond rockets past Amphibian to finish in 4th. That wind has severely spread out the field here. There's going to be 20 or 30 seconds between all the finishes as Amphibian comes across in 5th place. Only 2 marbles still running as Bone Rattler has also gotten stuck with Jolly Jogger. Wave Runner here just needs to get past Jolly Jogger to secure a 6th place finish, and they do. Wave Runner will get 6th. Oh, and comes to a stop, realizing that the race is all over. Jolly Jogger gets 7th, and Bone Rattler caught up just beyond the weeds there. A goose egg for Bone Rattler for the first time in a long time. Look at that wind, throwing leaves everywhere. That really did slow up the Governor. It allowed Shiverburn to get up there too, but they were majorly slowed down. Blocked Bone Rattler there. That could have been decisive of Bone Rattler's DNF. With all the debris on the track, there's Jolly Jogger's attack at first place. And here comes Gravedigger, flying up and down, gets straight past Jolly Jogger, goes to the left, but Gravedigger swerves back to the middle just in time to get themselves, keep themselves in first place, Governor rather, sorry, and keeps it down the middle. The Gravedigger had way more speed. That course was a couple meters longer. Gravedigger would have secured their first gold, but it's another medal for Gravedigger. The Governor secures gold, and Bone Rattler getting last means that the Governor should, by my early calculations, move up into first place, and they do. Bone Rattler and Jolly Jogger fall to 2nd and 3rd. Gravedigger goes up 3 spots into 4th, but it is now the Governor with 3 events left holding station in first place. Should have been, despite that medal though, is still in last. 12 points off of the 7th place runner. And now we look to the A-League. Of course, Gordon has come back to form after a goose egg in Event 5, another bronze in Event 6 gets him back into first place. But Shining Dawn, Spruce Log and Constellation are all 4 points back. Lightning Shark and Neoclassicist are 7 points back. It is a 6-way battle at the top of the table coming into this event. So it is a very, very important event. A must-win or a must-podium for some of those contenders if they want to stay in touch with the top runners. Sorted in the heats there, Gordon will race in the first heat alongside Shining Dawn and Neoclassicist. 3 of the 6 are in this first heat here. The other 3 will take place in heat 2. So Sergeant Vaca, position 1, Breakfast Video, position 8, and either they come, it's Gordon in first place over Ice Cold, Blackcurrant, and Golden Syrup. No, that's Neoclassicus, sorry, who gets passed by Golden Syrup, but it's Gordon and Ice Cold in first and second. Here comes Breakfast Video up into third place. Ice Cold takes the lead of the races. Golden Syrup comes flying up into second. Here comes Neoclassicus and Breakfast Video. They all get past Gordon, who falls to fifth. Golden Syrup's gunning for first place. A charge at Ice Cold, but 1 block fended off, 2 blocks fended off. Ice Cold, beautiful defense. And Golden Syrup is flying down this course, but it lets Ice Cold pull away all those that blocking works perfectly. Breakfast Video gets second. Golden Syrup and Neoclassicus cruises to 4th place over Gordon, who will not advance. The championship leader is out, as is Shining Dawn. Only Neoclassicus of the 3 in this heat is able to advance. He's also the lowest in the table, so that is very interesting. Sergeant Vaca can't get anywhere close and finishes in 7th, and we had 1 DNF. It was the Season 1 winner. Butterscotch can't get to the bottom and is barreling for a bottom result here in the Rocky Road. Not a good result for a previous winner, but look at the speed that Golden Syrup gathered straight past Gordon. Breakfast Video 2 and Neoclassicus both got around. Sergeant Vaca was in the frame there, but slowed down and couldn't quite get by. Now here's the defense and the speed. The defense by Ice Cold, and Golden Syrup had the speed but couldn't quite find the swinging momentum side to side to get around Ice Cold, who cruises to a 27.22 win. Breakfast Video, Golden Syrup will finally get to a final, and Neoclassicus comes across in 4th, and eliminating Gordon means they're going to close that gap, but we'll see where Gordon finishes in the 9th to 16th results. Heat 2 now, Lightning Shark in position 2, Constellation and Spruce Log in position 7 and 8. We'll see how they go, and it is Blackcurrant actually comes out to a great start. Lapis Lazuli comes flying up into first place and already has a massive advantage over second place, who I believe is Tropic Thunder, fending off a challenge from Blackcurrant. Lapis Lazuli is flying down this course, already halfway there pretty much. We're going to pan back to second place. It's Blackcurrant over Spruce Log, who falls back a few places. Lightning Shark and Overgrowth are 3rd and 4th. Tropic Thunder, Constellation, Fast Fish are all fighting for that 4th place spot. A parry back for second place. Overgrowth loses speed. Blackcurrant and Lightning Shark are 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Fast Fish fighting for 4th place. Gets past Overgrowth. Blackcurrant, Lightning Shark and Fast Fish will advance with a rocket ship. Lapis Lazuli, Tropic Thunder, and Spruce Log comes across in last place. Only 1 advancement again there, as Constellation comes across in 6th and fails to advance. So we've seen all the top 4 crash out here. The 2 marbles in 5th and 6th, Lightning Shark and Neoclassicus, have both advanced. How far up the table can they go with these points gained already on the top 4 runners? Look at this. Overgrowth here gets past Lightning Shark, but this decisive block is what knocks them out, because they can't keep the speed up after that. Lightning Shark's able to loop around them. Tropic Thunder, a big slowdown there. They were running in 5th place, but it allows Fast Fish to come up into 5th, and then they just rocket ahead, get around Overgrowth to secure 4th place. It will be Lapis Lazuli, Blackcurrant, Lightning Shark, and Fast Fish to join the 4 runners from the first heat, all for the final. Now hand everyone line up. Gordon does get 9th place, the best of the rest. It is the lowest finisher, Spruce Log, for the big championship contenders. They get 14th place. Shining Dawn is in 13th. Constellation's in 11th. A low for the season for Constellation, all the way in Event 7. But here we go for the final. How well can Lightning Shark and Neoclassicus do against these 6 other mid-table runners? Breakfast Video down Lapis Lazuli. Lapis Lazuli, of course, had a flyer and gets up to the lead again, but this time they're getting challenged much earlier. Fast Fish gets around early, and Fast Fish leads the way. Neoclassicus is in 3rd behind Lapis Lazuli. There's Lightning Shark in 4th place. Lapis Lazuli now retakes the lead. Lightning Shark is into 3rd, into 2nd, into 1st. Great movement by Lightning Shark, but there are 5 marbles coming up behind him. Fast Fish, Lapis Lazuli, Breakfast Video, Neoclassicus, and Blackcurrant are all brawling. They're bouncing over each other for 2nd place, but all that fighting lets Lightning Shark run away with the race. Lightning Shark cruises to gold medal here, and Neoclassicus gets 2nd place. Fast Fish will pick up the pieces and get 3rd over Blackcurrant in 4th. The top 2 are those 2 in the championship that needed it most. They could take the top 2 spots in the table here with those results. What a race by Lightning Shark. My voice was going far too high there. Here's Lightning Shark's fantastic movements. Into third place there, past Fast Fish. Into second, into first, just perfect swerving, keeping out of the middle. And then, if you see back there, Requisito, of course, gets a little bit of air there, too much air in fact, and slows down dramatically. A huge battle for second place, just let Lightning Shark pull miles ahead despite getting a lot of air toward the bottom here. It could have been catastrophic had the other marbles kept chase. Neoclassicus gets second place, 2 silvers in a row for Neoclassicus, gets them real up in the order, and Golden Syrup made a great triple overtake at the end there to go from 8th to 5th. Fantastic stuff, a best result of the season, of course, for Golden Syrup. They desperately would have needed something like that to get their confidence going, but Lightning Shark, a second gold medal in these games, a fantastic performance. Neoclassicus and Fast Fish will round out the podium, but I do believe with this shock result, Lightning Shark and Neoclassicus will take top 2 in the table. As theorized, there you see Lightning Shark and Neoclassicus up 4 each. They're in first and second place. Gordon falls to third. Shining Dawn and Spruce Log down to 5th and 6th. It is now also Fast Fish is now within 20 points of the leader. We got a 7 marble race potentially going into event 8. 7 marbles within 20 points of each other. But it is Lightning Shark over Neoclassicus by 3, over Gordon by a further 3. And up next,
we've reached that time of the year when competitors are going to start seeing themselves eliminated from championship contention as we come into Event 8 of Terrain Marble Trials Season 3, which would typically be the finale, but this time it is only the third to last event. Welcome to the Gravitrax Elimination Race. You've seen this as a finale and as a penultimate event in the past. This time there are still 2 events to follow it, and it is all about staying out of last place. Come in last and you are eliminated. The last marble standing will win. Previous winners of this event are both in the B League, Wave Runner and Bone Rattler in the previous 2 seasons, so we'll have a new winner in the A League no matter what. And of course this Gravitrax course, it starts pretty tight together, more like a snowboard cross at the beginning, but then once you reach the halfway point it opens up really wide, giving opportunities for last second overtakes and last seconds avoiding that last place spot. Now of course if you do win, you just notice that graphic there, if you win the race you skip the next one. So let's say you win round 1 as an example, you would skip round 2 and come back for round 3. Let's start off with the B League, of course. The Governor took the lead over Bone Rattler in the last event, and Jolly Jogger is also, those are the 3 competitors within a gold medal of taking the lead. So they're the ones with the biggest chance so far, but some competitors like Gravedigger and Wave Runner have an outside chance looking in as we line up for round 1. Whoever goes out first is eliminated and will get 0 points. It's Wave Runner in first place, but Jolly Jogger, Amphibian and Vagabond to bring up the rear. Wave Runner holds on for the win. Amphibian's going to fall to the back and can't make the overtake over Gravedigger, who pulls far away toward the end, and Amphibian's going to be eliminated first. Wave Runner does get the win. They'll skip round 2 and return for round 3. There was a big knock there from Jolly Jogger, and that really slowed down Amphibian. That was the killer for Amphibian's run. Jolly Jogger keeps himself in the game because of it, and Gravedigger came across in second to last. They'll of course keep going. Amphibian is our first eliminated marble. So none of the championship contenders have had any advantages or disadvantages so far. Still a clean fight in this event. It's Shiverburn who comes out of the gate quickest in round 2. Vagabond's at the back. A big pack for 4th place, but suddenly they all pile together. Gravedigger has taken the lead and the win of the race. Vagabond has stayed in the back the entire time, and despite both Bone Rattler and Jolly Jogger being close, Vagabond will stay in last and will go out in 7th place. Gravedigger gets the win there. Shiverburn was holding the lead throughout most of it, but couldn't quite keep the run going. A nudge there from the Governor, almost a shove to get across the line. Vagabond, just one last knock off that last piece of Gravitrax was the difference maker. Okay, we're down to just 6. Of course, Gravedigger isn't in this race. They'll come back in round 4. It's Bone Rattler who's out of the gate quickest. Wave Runners come back after their immunity in round 2, but they're in last place here by a country mile. It's a battle between contenders, and Jolly Jogger will win the race, but Wave Runner from start to finish there had a really slow section at the beginning and could not bring it back from there. It was right as the replay started. You can see where Wave Runner was going particularly slow, and that causes them to go out. They'll finish in 6th place. They will get a race win to their name in this event, but they won't get any more than just 2 points. We're down to 5 runners now. It was, I believe, Jolly Jogger to win that race, and they will skip round 4
Gravedigger will jump back onto the field with Governor, Shiverburn, and Bone Rattler, our final 4 racing marbles. Still 5 in the event. It is Bone Rattler who pulls away. Early lead here. Shiverburn is in the back and last place. Gravedigger's in second. Governor's trying to make some moves to get in front. Yes, Gravedigger actually. Gravedigger rockets in front to get first place, and Shiverburn, despite a nice and quick finish, was too slow throughout the rest of the course. No chance there for Shiverburn. They will finish in 5th place here. But look at this overtake by Gravedigger. Goes sweeping back toward the outside, shoves Bone Rattler aside into the wall. A secure win for Gravedigger. Well done to them. They'll skip that round, and all 3 of the contenders, actually, look at this, have gone on to fight each other in round 5. Jolly Jogger, the Governor, and Bone Rattler. One of them is going to get immunity and go straight to the finals. One is going to be eliminated here. It's Jolly Jogger who leads, the Governor who's in last, but then Bone Rattler falls back to last place. The Bone Rattler pulls ahead of the Governor now. Jolly Jogger's going to win the race. Can these two fight for it? The Governor's going to hold on over Bone Rattler, who tried so hard to get around and very briefly did get around. It was up here, but the Governor fought back relatively quickly and almost had a go at Jolly Jogger, but they found a great line. There's another overtake by Bone Rattler, and then just one very heavy knock off the centerpiece obstacle and could not find the right line to get back in front of the Governor. Jolly Jogger wins the race and goes straight to the final, and Bone Rattler, who is second in the championship, goes out. How far can the Governor go to try and get a big advantage in this title? Being in first place, of course, they're going to gain ground on Bone Rattler for sure, but how much can Jolly Jogger do? The Governor's winning round 6 here over Gravedigger comfortably. Suddenly Gravedigger comes back, makes the overtake, and the Gravedigger has defeated the Governor in the second to last round here. The Governor will finish this event in 3rd place. Look at this overtake. They find the perfect line there. They get right up behind the Governor, who just nudges poorly off of that gap and flies into the obstacle, letting Gravedigger rocket in front, and they will face Jolly Jogger in the final round. Of course, you can't get immunity for the final round as they line up for the final. The winner of this will get gold. The Governor, of course, will get 3rd place. Bone Rattler will get 4th. Can Jolly Jogger try and take the lead in the table here with the gold? They're in first place over Gravedigger. They're holding that lead strong. Gravedigger can't quite find the perfect line. They try to get with there. It's not going to be enough. Jolly Jogger is going to win the race and the event, and that's their 3rd gold medal of these games. It might be enough to get right up there with Bone Rattler and the Governor. Jolly Jogger, another gold medal. Gravedigger, in fact, 2 silvers in a row for Gravedigger as well. They're perhaps on their way for an outside chance looking in at a podium or maybe even the title, but we'll see what the overall standings say about that. But Jolly Jogger and Gravedigger both winning 3 of the races. The Governor silently gets into 3rd place without a single race win, but the Governor should be able to just hold on to that championship lead going into event 9. Bone Rattler might even fall to 3rd after Jolly Jogger's gold medal, and they do. That's the only change in the entire table are those 2. Shiverburn already cannot win the B-League. Only 18 points in 8 events. They're going to have no chance of the title, but the Governor, Jolly Jogger, and Bone Rattler are all separated by just 4 points, and Gravedigger now with an outside chance looking in, just 10 points behind the leading Governor. Now we go to the A-League, of course. Chaos in the last event. Lightning Shark and Neoclassicus both leaped 4 spots into 1st and 2nd place, but Gordon, Constellation, Shining Dawn, Spruce Log, and Fast Fish are all within that gold medal range of 1st place. And this is an event, the only event where all 16 marbles attack each other at once for at least one part of the event. So all hell could break loose in this first round here. We could see some big names go out and some big names go forward. It is Shining Dawn, in fact, already, who's toward the back, as is Gordon, Lightning Shark, and Constellation. Breakfast Rito, playing spoilers, going to win the race. Who's at the back? It's Constellation, trying to get past Gordon and Lightning Shark, who are at the back, but Constellation cannot make any overtakes and falls out. The first eliminated marble is one who was pretty high up there in the table. Big miss for Constellation here. A goose egg after their first poor result in a while in Rocky Road. They've not gotten a bottom half result since hurdles, and here they are now getting 2 in a row, and this one is devastating. 0 points for Constellation. That gives a big boost to the other contenders who are going to try and get far away from at least one of their competition here. Breakfast Rito will win it. They have not got many cards to play in the title, but they'll at least skip this round and get some automatic points. Going forward, it is Shining Dawn this time who's going much quicker out of the gate and leads. Ice Cold is at the back. Shining Dawn actually gets overtaken by Golden Syrup, who gets sliced back by Shining Dawn. It's Overgrowth at the back, trying to make an overtake. Neoclassicus has slowed down dramatically. Neoclassicus is suddenly out. The runner in 2nd place is only going to get 1 point here. Overgrowth made a dramatic overtake. Oh, they got really stuffed there by Golden Syrup. Pushed all the way back to last place, and Golden Syrup there is pushed to 2nd place by Shining Dawn, who has skipped that round. But look at Overgrowth here. Ice Cold actually shoves Neoclassicus out of the way, and that gives Overgrowth the fleeting moment to overtake and secure themselves a spot in the next round. Neoclassicist is out. Lightning Shark is going to extend their lead here, but that depends on how these other contenders such as Gordon or Spruce Log do. Let's see how it runs out. Does Blackcurrant, Reckless Judo, who's back in it, takes the lead, but suddenly Blackcurrant retakes it. Sergeant Vaca is in last by a country mile, but suddenly makes some moves. Gordon, Golden Syrup are there. Golden Syrup has come to a stop on the last hurdle, and Golden Syrup is out. I didn't quite catch who won that race. It was Blackcurrant. I saw Blackcurrant flying ahead, but Butterscotch and Fastfish made some moves toward the end. It wasn't quite enough to get there, though. So Golden Syrup is out. We haven't seen any big swings in the contenders in this round. Golden Syrup, of course, having a really difficult season. Difficulties continue despite it looking up in the rocky road. They won't have much to smile about here. Round 4 lines up now. We've got 13 competitors still running, 12 still on track. It's Lapis Lazuli who comes out in first place this round. A big pile up out of the gates there, and I think I see Lightning Shark is stuck. Lightning Shark is out of the race and out of the event. The championship leader goes out only 2 rounds after Neoclassicus. What does this do for everybody else? Gordon, Spruce Log, Fastfish, several contenders now are celebrating. This could be dramatic for the title. Overgrowth won the race and will skip round 5, but Lightning Shark already being out. This is dramatic for the championship stakes here. Spruce Log almost won it, in fact, to try and get an advantage, but Overgrowth sneaks through right at the end. So Lightning Shark eliminated, just 3 points. They'll be on 86 by the end of this event. Let's see what happens as the event goes on. We've got 12 left now. A few contenders still running well, or it's a slow start for Lapis Lazuli there in the back early on, and it's Gordon out in front who gets overtaken by several marbles, including Spruce Log, who wins the race. Suddenly it's Fastfish at the back trying to get past Lapis Lazuli. Back and forth they go, but great defensive work by Lapis Lazuli, and Fastfish is out. These contenders, the marbles within 20 points of the leader, are dropping like flies in this event. We've only got Gordon and Spruce Log left, I do believe, and Shining Dawn too. Sorry, they're also running well in this event, but they need to get back on track after a couple poor performances. So Fastfish has gone out of this event. We've now down to just 11 marbles. Of course, Gordon, Spruce Log, who won that race, and Shining Dawn are the 3 marbles to look out for. They are the remaining contenders in this event. Tropic Thunder takes the lead in this round 6 here, but Shining Dawn comes around everybody and takes the lead. Is going to hold it to the line, I do believe. Yes, just over Tropic Thunder. We've got a huge pile up, it seems, because not many marbles finished that race, but it is Gordon who comes across in last place, unless, of course, I'm mistaken, and I am mistaken. Gordon is out of the race. There was a pile up much earlier on, but they did end up continuing down this course. It is Shining Dawn who wins it. Gordon is out. We've only got 2 of those big title runners left between Spruce Log and Shining Dawn. They need to make as big an opportunity as they can out of this, with all these contenders dropping like flies. We're down to just 10 running marbles. Gordon gets 11th place and 5 points only. Lapis Lazuli is out of the gate best in this next round. It's Overgrowth running behind them. Reckless Judo and Spruce Log have gotten themselves caught up. It's neck and neck for who's going to come last here. Butterscotch will win the race. Only 6 marbles finish. I believe Tropic Thunder also got stuck, but they're safe because they're higher up. And look at this. Spruce Log millimeters ahead of Reckless Judo, and Reckless Judo is out. Pretty much blocked out of the event completely by Spruce Log. Dirty tactics, but fair in the Garrotax elimination race. Butterscotch gets the win, and the chaos behind leaves Reckless Judo out of the race, and Spruce Log, by the skin of their wood, keeps himself in the game. It is just 9 marbles left. Spruce Log and Shining Dawn both race here on the left side, and they both don't have the best of starts. It's Sergeant Vaca who's been pretty quiet, but they have the lead here so far. Spruce Log's at the back, but they do get past Blackcurrant. Sergeant Vaca is going to win the race. Spruce Log is still in the back, gets past Blackcurrant again. Those 2 are fighting the whole way through, and it is Blackcurrant who is out. Sergeant Vaca with their first win of this event, keeping quiet so far, but is Blackcurrant there, who I believe gets back past Spruce Log. Just around here, they get past at that hurdle, and they almost get past Overgrowth too for some security, but Spruce Log's able to shoulder back in front. A fleeting chance to overtake, taken by Spruce Log, and they are back they're still in the game. Them and Shining Dawn still getting as high up this table as they can. Just 8 marbles left, entering the top half now. This is where it's going to get really dicey, throwing around for results. It's Shining Dawn in first place, Butterscotch in the back. A huge pile up there, lets Ice Cold come up into first place. They win the race. Tropic Thunder does finish the race in last, but only 6 marbles cross the line because Butterscotch is out. Caught on one of the obstacles, staring Gordon in the face there on the side of the road. Butterscotch is out. They'll finish this event in 8th place. And it was, Butterscotch right there. Just, could not quite get themselves out of the way. Ice Cold is going to win. Butterscotch, one of the only few DNF finishes we've seen, is out of this event. We're down to 7 now. Still Shining Dawn and Spruce Log march on in this event, and it is those two who get the top 2 out of the gate, but Shining Dawn is suddenly stopped and falls all the way back to last. It's Lapis Lazuli who takes the lead of the event. It's Sergeant Vaca at the back. Lapis Lazuli holds it. Sergeant Vaca will also hold their position. Unfortunately, Sergeant Vaca is out. They just skipped that last round too, so a very disappointing return, but they will still finish in 7th place, one of their highest of the season so far. Shining Dawn made a great overtake there, but despite being greatly stalled out by Tropic Thunder, it wasn't enough to fall back into Sergeant Vaca's grasp, and Lapis Lazuli will skip the next round. Skipping rounds now, of course, getting the win at this point in the event is very, very important. You'll skip some critical rounds, and we have just 5 marbles left on track. Spruce Log, Ice Cold, Tropic Thunder, Shining Dawn, and Overgrowth, and it is Overgrowth who is in last for now. Spruce Log is in first, but Tropic Thunder, who was in last, makes a huge overtake and takes over from Overgrowth, who's going to fall to the back by a mile and is going to be eliminated for a 6th place result. Spruce Log there. Perfect line to secure an easy win. Shining Dawn did everything in their power to try and get them, but they just couldn't quite be done. Tropic Thunder had a wonderful finish to that race. They were in the back fighting with Overgrowth, but manages to finish in 2nd in the end. Sure, finishing 2nd doesn't really matter, but still an impressive run down the course, perhaps boding well for what is to come. 5 marbles left. Ice Cold, Lapis Lazuli, Tropic Thunder, and Shining Dawn remain on track. Spruce Log is, of course, skipping this round. It is Tropic Thunder in first place. Lapis Lazuli toward the back. Ice Cold takes the lead. Now Lapis from 4th to 1st in just one little stretch. Lapis Lazuli wins, and Shining Dawn is out. One big contender remains. Spruce Log, the only marble within that 20-point gap of Lightning Shark, still in the race. Shining Dawn there got completely blocked out by Tropic Thunder and could not make any gains from there, and Shining Dawn will finish this event in 5th place. Still a big 8 points gain on Lightning Shark. They'll be strongly still in contention, but it depends on how far ahead Spruce Log could make some moves here, with just Ice Cold, Tropic Thunder, and Lapis Lazuli left. 3 marbles on course. One of these will not get a medal. It is Ice Cold who takes the lead of the race. Tropic Thunder in the back. Spruce Log now leads the way. Tropic Thunder takes 2nd place, takes 1st place, suddenly slows down. It's back to Ice Cold's way, who wins the race, and Tropic Thunder goes out. Spruce Log sandwiches the winner and the loser, and will move on to face Lapis Lazuli in the next round for the 3rd place spot. It is Ice Cold who makes a great little sequence of movement there. A nice bump off of Spruce Log to keep their line clean. Ice Cold wins and goes straight to the final, implying their first medal in career history. Well done to Ice Cold. Will it be gold or silver? It remains to be seen. And who's going to get the bronze? The winner of this, of course, will go to face Ice Cold. The loser will finish in 3rd place. Spruce Log needs all the points they can muster. Lapis Lazuli is currently well behind the pace of that brown marble, and despite a good finish to the end of this race, Spruce Log is going to secure it. Lapis Lazuli will get 3rd. What can Spruce Log do now against Ice Cold in the final? So Lapis Lazuli with a 3rd place, a decent result for sure, keeping it relatively quiet throughout the event was Lapis Lazuli. A couple wins to their credit, but a very well suited result there for that deep blue marble. A very quiet performance, but a very good one regardless. Now here's the order: Constellation, Neoclassicist, all the way up from the bottom two. See Gordon in 11th, Lightning Shark in 13th, Shining Dawn in 5th, and here we go, Spruce Log and Ice Cold line up for the final of the event. The winner of this takes gold. How far can Spruce Log go? It's Ice Cold though who leads so far, but Spruce Log comes around the left side and takes the lead. The lead's only growing for Spruce Log, but suddenly Ice Cold strings together a great run and wins the event. Strings together a beautiful sequence of bumps off the Gravitrax, and Ice Cold has secured not only their first medal in history, but their first gold in history. Look at those nudges. That's where they've been shining all day. Ice Cold has found the beautiful open terrain area of the second half of this track, the way to go, the way to secure wins, and secures the big win in this event. 3 wins for the top 2. Tropic Thunder kept it quiet. 0 wins but got 4th place. It is Ice Cold, Spruce Log, and Lapis Lazuli who secures the podium here. What does this do for the table? Has Spruce Log done enough to perhaps take the lead in the table over Lightning Shark? We'll see. There's too much math going on for me to properly authenticate right now, but congratulations to all of our podium finishers across both the leagues. Now for the carnage of that event, it is just 6 points separating the top 5. Constellation and Fast Fish have lost track. They're now well off the pace. Lightning Shark is still in first by 1 over Spruce Log, a further 3 over Gordon, a further 1 over Neoclassicist, who's a further 1 over Shining Dawn. Those are the new big 5 going into the final 2 events, and a change of plan. Of course, it was going to be the water race. The new event 9 is the all-new combination.
It's been a chaotic season of terrain marble trials so far, and we come down to the final 2 trials with the combination course and the triathlon, 2 events that will combine all different kinds of terrains we've seen so far this season. And as you can see already here in this course, we've got gravel tracks everywhere, a whole shot section and a hurdles to start it off. It is a combination of several events we've seen so far, and the next event will be just the same to close out this season, where it is a free-for-all for the title. Of course, the A-League has 8 or so competitors within just 20 points of the lead and could take the lead in this event if things go their way. And of course, in the B-League, which we're going to start with, we've got those 3 contenders, 4 points within 4 points of each other, with a few others just right behind. So of course, the combination course here, as you can see, a straight speed hole shot, which we don't see very often. Usually there's a rollback before sections like that, and a backstretch section of just straight racing track, and a Duplo maze, you're going to call it, as I come flying down here. It's not too difficult. It's very tough to try and make that last gasp overtake in that final section, but of course it can still be done. The B-League will line up first for this event. The Governor, Jelle Jogger and Bone Rattler are all separated by just 4 points. Gravedigger is 9 points behind the leaders, so they'll need a little bit of luck to have any chance of winning this title. They'll need to hope that all 3 of those contenders, who have been undoubtedly the best competitors in this B-League, he'll need to hope that they don't make it through these heats here. And 2 of them will face off against each other now. Bone Rattler and Jelle Jogger in the first heat, with Shiverburn and Amphibian in lanes 3 and 4. Down they come, and it is a good start for the contenders. They're in first and second place, but Amphibian is keeping it close. Bone Rattler briefly slows down, almost comes out of the course there, and is now behind Amphibian, but not for long. They move up into second place. As I say that, it is Jelle Jogger in first by a country mile here. They're going to cruise to an advancement. Bone Rattler has pulled ahead of Amphibian and is going to cruise to second place. The 2 contenders have pulled through here. Amphibian and Shiverburn are out. So Bone Rattler and Bone Rattler and Jelle Jogger rather move on to the final. They're going to be in good shape if the Governor can also fail to advance. Of course, Bone Rattler and Jelle Jogger are running in second and third place in the table. So if the Governor, who's running in first, doesn't advance, we could see new leaders here coming out of this event and coming into the finale. It is a big win for Jelle Jogger, who cruised from start to finish there. Bone Rattler had to fight for it, but in the end, a pretty cruisy second place finish. Now, Gravedigger, the Governor, Vagabond and Wave Runner in the heat 2 here. Down they come. It is a clear top 2 for Gravedigger and the Governor, who are of course the highest 2 on the table. Coming into the garage tracks now, they keep that lead, but Vagabond has suddenly overtaken Gravedigger. Gravedigger comes back down to this backstretch though, reassumes it only to struggle on the next 90-degree corner. The Governor and Vagabond are both taking the same line here. They go back and forth across each other at the end, and they will advance easily. Gravedigger and Wave Runner 4th and 3rd respectively. Gravedigger fell all the way to last at the end there. It is really these 90-degree turns that are complemented by the gravel tracks. They're going to be the big difference maker in this event. Wave Runner almost jumped out of the course there, got back on track from the gravel tracks grooves on the walls, and they're still going to be out regardless. It is Vagabond who's going to be playing spoiler in the final with all those 3 contenders. With the Governor, Jelle Jogger and Bone Rattler all getting through, Vagabond's going to have some work to do to get through that. Wave Runner, it gets 5th, the best for the rest, and Shiverburn, the only marble to get above 22nd time, they're going to get last place again. Difficulties continue despite a 3rd place in Rocky Road, but now we move on to the final. How will this shake the table coming into the final event? It's Bone Rattler, Vagabond, the Governor, and Jelle Jogger. It is the Governor, the leader, who takes the lead, but suddenly slows down in the whole shot, only to reassume the lead coming into the garage tracks. It's now Bone Rattler in first place, Season 1 champion, trying to get that B-League title too. Jelle Jogger takes the lead now. Vagabond, out of nowhere, comes into first place. Looks like they're going to hold it to the end, and they do. It's Jelle Jogger who comes up and gets 2nd place. Bone Rattler secures 3rd, and the Governor misses the podium. It's going to close up dramatically at the top now, but the Governor missing the podium is huge. But Vagabond has come out of nowhere there. They started the race basically in last and stayed in last. This would have been the big point. That turnover, a beautiful turnover, a beautiful 90-degree turn from Vagabond. They go from 4th to 1st in less than 3 seconds, and they hold it to the end. And there's a brief struggle by Bone Rattler. Let's Jelle Jogger get past into 2nd place. What does it do for the table though? But the Vagabond, of course, was running in 5th place before this event. They should get up into 4th and perhaps be challenging for a podium, but of course we'll have our 3 title contenders, the only ones within reasonable point margins now. And it's still a 4-point gap, but things have swapped around. Jelle Jogger now takes the lead by 2 points over the Governor, who's a further 2 points over Bone Rattler. 4 points separate them, a full 9 back to Vagabond, who can only fight for a podium here as we move into the triathlon. But now we look to the A-League. Of course, we have a almost record-breaking 8 competitors who can take the lead coming out of this event.
Lightning Shark all the way down to Fast Fish are within 20 points of the leader, who is Lightning Shark. So if things go poorly for Lightning Shark, anyone back in that top half has a big chance to make some moves here and get an advantage coming into that final event. Really close the gap down. Of course, the final event is a triathlon. We've never seen a triathlon before. We've only seen biathlons here in Train Marble Trials, so a triathlon will do wonders seeing water for the first time. Heat 1 now for the A-League. Fast Fish, Blackcurrant, Gordon and Sergeant Vaca. All this talk about the triathlon. We've still got this event to contend with. It is Blackcurrant who loses out to Gordon through the hurdles. It's a big jumble of competitors through the whole shot. Fast Fish almost gets in first place, but it is still Gordon out in front. Holding firmly for now. Fast Fish has a good head of steam down the backstretch, and it fails though. They fall to last place. It's Gordon and Sergeant Vaca in first and second, all the way to the line. Blackcurrant was having a go at the Sergeant, but could not quite get around, and it is going to be Gordon who wins. Very good. They're running high in the table, so that's important for their championship hopes, and Sergeant Vaca, who also goes through. Blackcurrant was never really in an advancement spot, but was always fighting for it. His Fast Fish actually gunning for Gordon, trying to get in front, but a terrible transition into the next section, and they fall to last because of it. And a really slow run through the Duplo maze as well put them in a pretty slow time. Fast Fish could be out of contention here for sure coming into the final event. Alright, Lapis Lazuli, Neoclassicist, Tropic Thunder, and Reckless Rito coming into Heat 2 here. I believe Lapis Lazuli and Neoclassicist are in that top 8, so they're going to be the ones to look out for. And they are currently top 2 by a country mile, but Tropic Thunder and Reckless Rito both jump in. It's Tropic Thunder, who was in second. Now Lapis Lazuli and Reckless Rito are in those advancement spots. Big contact, Reckless Rito falls to last. It's Tropic Thunder in second place, fending off a challenge from Neoclassicist, hits the wall badly, but cannot quite lose the position. It is Tropic Thunder who will move on, and Lapis Lazuli, who claimed that win from start to finish, took the lead after the first turnover and then held it from there. Great turnover by Lapis Lazuli. They got a bit lucky with some contact there, and were able to get back in front through the Garrow tracks. 2 Garrow track sections, of course. The first one very well for Lapis Lazuli. They held it through the second. Tropic Thunder gets second place. Look how close that was. Almost come flying off the course there from those wall traps. Those walls can fall over and leave marbles behind stranded, so getting behind after the Duplo maze could be disaster. Heat 3, Butterscotch, Spruce Log, Golden Syrup, and Shining Dawn. Of course, Spruce Log and Shining Dawn are both in that top half. Spruce Log is only 1 point behind the leader, Lightning Shark. It is those two right up the front, and it is, of course, Spruce Log in the front of this race. Shining Dawn is in second, well ahead of Golden Syrup and Butterscotch, who are fighting with each other. Here comes Golden Syrup, though, gets into second place, but Spruce Log suddenly launches forward, goes from third to first in one go, and wins the race, and Butterscotch holds on to finish in second. Shining Dawn is out. Their championship hopes could be over just like that, with how close these standings are. Failing to advance here in that top half will effectively doom your chance for a championship title. You could still get a podium, but you have to get a bit lucky. Spruce Log, I think it was Butterscotch and Spruce Log here who just came flying down. They were actually in bottom 2 coming into the Duplo maze, but they found the right line. Golden Syrup was flying all over the walls, couldn't quite find a clean line, and they go out. Spruce Log and Butterscotch go through. Now here he is, Constellation, Lightning Shark, Overgrowth, and Ice Cold. There's several competitors here, I do believe. Lightning Shark and Constellation are both within that top half, but they're on very different ends of it. It is Lightning Shark who takes the lead. Constellation was in second. Here comes Ice Cold now into second place. Overgrowth is nowhere to be seen. Lightning Shark leads. Ice Cold is in a clear second place. Those two blue marbles are going to cruise to advance from here, no two ways about it. Constellation will come across in third, not advance, and possibly lose out on the chance for being a title contender, and Overgrowth will come behind well off the pace. 23 seconds out, that should be heading towards a bottom 3 result, I would assume, for that green marble. Unfortunate, given how good their Season 2 was, it has not been the same story here in Season 3. The Lightning Shark asserting some dominance here as the championship leader, and how uncertain it is with how many contenders are close to him. He's really closed things down here just by advancing. He's going to knock out several contenders, such as Shining Dawn would have a chance. Fast Fish, Constellation, they're all going to be in trouble. Constellation does get best of the rest, but it won't be enough if Lightning Shark keeps pushing forward. They're not going to be able to contend for this title going into the triathlon. Semi-final A, Ice Cold, Spruce Log, Gordon, and Tropic Thunder. Of course, Gordon and Spruce Log are both right up there. What can they do to try and stop the charge of Lightning Shark? And those two were in front, but Gordon suddenly slows down at the whole shot. It's Tropic Thunder and Spruce Log who are first and second place. Gordon's in last, does make the third place overtake, but this is still well off the pace of the top 2. Tropic Thunder and Spruce Log, they're fighting each other for first place. It's all about bragging rights up there, but they cruise to advancement, and Gordon goes out in the semi-finals. Can only get a best result of 5th there. Lightning Shark now could extend that gap on Gordon at the very least, but Spruce Log is keeping it close. 1 point separates him and Spruce Log, of course, and Lightning Shark, of course. So we'll see how that goes if Lightning Shark keeps pushing in this event. Spruce Log's under the final. Lightning Shark now has to advance to keep Spruce Log at bay. We could see a new championship leader here. The defending champion, Spruce Log, could be up for back-to-back if he keeps going as well as he is. Semi-final B, Sergeant Vaca, Butterscotch, Lightning Shark, and Lapis Lazuli. Lightning Shark is, of course, the one to look out for, but it's close through the hurdles. It becomes very much not close afterwards. It's Sergeant Vaca who leads. Lightning Shark is in 3rd place, has to get past Butterscotch at the very least to advance here. It's a terrible turnover for the 2 marbles in front. Lightning Shark now leads the way, is flying, gonna advance. Butterscotch stalls out and loses 2nd place to Lapis Lazuli. The 2 blue marbles, who are in last place coming into the 3rd section of this track, advance out of nowhere through the Garrett tracks and the Duplo maze. They worked out perfectly to advance. Sergeant Vaca, where did it all go wrong? It was all at this transition right here. There's a clear sectional difference there. Sergeant Vaca and Butterscotch had a terrible transition in section number 3. Lapis Lazuli also wasn't very good, but it was right here. Butterscotch had a terrible hit in the Duplo maze, and Lapis Lazuli right around the outside. Easy overtake into 2nd place. Lightning Shark and Spruce Log are both in this final. Gordon does finish in 5th place. They were close. They should still be a contender, but I think going into the final event, of course, it's going to become a 2-horse race. What was a 8-marble battle is going down to just a 2-horse race in just one event. It's going to be between Marble in Lane 2 and the Marble in Lane 4. Spruce Log and Lightning Shark. Who's going to finish the best here in the final with Tropic Thunder and Lapis Lazuli playing spoiler? It's Tropic Thunder, who's well behind. Lapis Lazuli takes the lead. Spruce Log now gets in front. Lightning Shark is fighting for it though. Tropic Thunder gets a big push on Lightning Shark, and Lightning Shark now takes the lead. Tropic Thunder moves into 1st place, not for long though. Lightning Shark is cruising. Lightning Shark's going to win it. Lightning Shark, the championship leader, has won gold for the 3rd time this season, and Spruce Log comes across yelling in 2nd place. It's not going to be enough to take any leads here. In fact, Lightning Shark will increase their lead over Spruce Log, but it is not going to be by much. There will be a 4-point gap going into that final event. The championship contenders that were alive before this event, they're all finished now. It's down to a 2-horse race between Lightning Shark, the Season 2 rookie, and Spruce Log, of course, the defending champion. It will come down to those 2 in the final event. Lapis Lazuli cruised across to get 2 bronzes in a row. In fact, Spruce Log actually 2 silvers in a row for them, and Lapis Lazuli, who got the same bottom 2 podium steps across the last 2 events. Very interesting, but of course the gold medalist, very different. Lightning Shark captures a 3rd one, and holy moly, they are in the driver's seat now. Congratulations to our podium finishers. Mighty Lightning Shark now leads by 4 points over Spruce Log. They both cracked 100. Gordon and Lapis Lazuli actually can still win this title, but they both need a lot of help from those top 2. Neoclassicus, Shining Dawn, and Constellation can all still fight for a podium. Everybody else is just fighting for position now, but it is just those 4, and more realistically, those 2 that can win it going into the triathlon next week. We'll see you for that. And it all comes down to this. In what has been a really close season from start to finish, it was only the last event where it came down to a 2-horse race between Spruce Log and Lightning Shark. But it is still mathematically a 4-way battle for this championship, as if things go, fortunately, Lapis Lazuli and Gordon can still snipe this title right under Lightning Shark and Spruce Log's grasps. Hello everybody and welcome to Terrain Marble Trail Season 3 for the very last time. We're here at the triathlon featuring a gravel track section, a circuit section, and a water section. This is the first time this season these competitors will face a significant track section and a significant water section. First time actually, I believe, in history they've faced a significant water section. Of course, there was the Season 2 biathlon, but that was less than 3 seconds. Very short, more of a closer rather than a long-term conclusion to the race. So, of course, in the A-League, we've got 4 marbles that are up for the win, but 2 of them more realistically, as Lightning Shark and Spruce Log are separated by just 4 points. Gordon and Lapis Lazuli are 14 and 19 points behind the leader, respectively. So, a lot of luck is needed for those competitors to have any chance. Let's see. And, of course, in the B-League, which we're going to start off with as per usual, we've got a three-way race for the lead, which is way more fair. Just 4 points separate those 3 contenders. Jolly Jogger, who took the lead in the last event after a huge silver medal. The Governor and Bone Rattler in 2nd and 3rd respectively. 2 points separate them all. 4 points separate all 3 of them. We'll see how the action goes here today. Of course, two of them will have to go in the same heat, and that will be Bone Rattler and the Governor, with Amphibian and Shiverburn lining up with them to play spoiler. They'll have to advance to have any chance of holding it to Shiverburn, or Jolly Jogger rather, but it is Bone Rattler in first place, ahead of Amphibian, who suddenly gets overtaken around the outside by the Governor. A wonderful move that was to get up into second place. The two contenders are running 1 and 2 right now. The Governor makes an overtake in the water, a much better dive, and a push through the water for the Governor gets him the win in this race, but it is still Bone Rattler who finishes in second, so it is going to be a double contender advancement here in Heat 1. Amphibian and Shiverburn. Amphibian was doing alright, but they kept flying off the walls down that straightaway, and the Governor made great use of that opportunity with a fantastic round the outside overtake. And look, in the water here, they both slowed down to a crawl as expected in the water, but the Governor was able to keep the speed up just a little bit longer and make the overtake. Now on the left side there at the back, Jolly Jogger ahead of behind Gravedigger, with a Wave Runner and Vagabond on the right side. And it's a much better start for those two left marbles. But Vagabond comes through and takes the lead, only to lose it to Jolly Jogger. Immediately, the contender, the leader of the title, has a big lead right off the bat. The Vagabond is fending off a challenge from Gravedigger, gets right up behind coming into the water. Down they come, it's Gravedigger does get in front. A sudden block from Jolly Jogger slows Gravedigger back down. And Vagabond, into second place, will hold it to the line by the slimmest of margins. Wave Runner was pretty much walled off by Vagabond and Gravedigger there, had no chance to get around, and Jolly Jogger, the championship leader, moves on to the final. We have the exact same final as the previous event, the 3 contenders and Vagabond playing a spoiler. So here's the decisive moment. A big contact there between Jolly Jogger and Gravedigger knocks Gravedigger out of contention effectively and lets Vagabond just hold on to second place. And they see current standings Shiverburn, who couldn't move up in the table before this event started, finishes in 5th place. Amphibian will round out the last goose egg of the season. But now, of course, with all 3 contenders in the final, here's the permutations. If Jolly Jogger or the Governor win, they win the title no matter what. But Bone Rattler has to also win the race and hope Jolly Jogger finishes 3rd or lower. It does not matter where the Governor finishes for Bone Rattler. Here we go. But of course, he just has to win. Winner takes all in the final of the B-League, and off we go. It is the Governor, now losing out to Bone Rattler, who loses out to Vagabond, who loses back out to the Governor. It's a 3-way race. Jolly Jogger, the championship leader, is in 4th place. It's now a battle for the lead. Winner takes all between Governor and Bone Rattler. Can Vagabond play spoiler here? It's Governor who holds the lead in the water, pushing to the line. Bone Rattler drafting, can't quite get around. It was neck and neck toward the black dot. Of course, that little outline is the finish line, and I believe the Governor did just hold on for the lead. Yes, we're hearing it now. The Governor will win the race and will win the inaugural B-League title for Terrain Marble Trials. Congratulations to the Governor. Bone Rattler will come oh so close in 2nd place in this event, but they'll only finish 3rd in the title because Jolly Jogger has done enough in 4th place to secure their overall 2nd place finish. Bone Rattler will get 3rd, but the Governor wins the title with several medals, medaling in more than half the events. A fantastic performance from start to finish by the Governor. Could you imagine what they could have done if they had qualified? They'll have another chance, of course, next season to go for the big one in the A-League, and here we are for the A-League to decide the champion this time around. Will it be the Season 2 rookie in Lightning Shark, or will Spruce Log defend their title? So there you see the gaps. 4 points separate at the top 2. It's 13 back to Gordon, 19 back to Lapis Lazuli from Lightning Shark. And there you see the permutations. Lightning Shark winning means it's over. They'll win no matter what. Spruce Log, if they finish on the podium, Lightning Shark must be 2 spots below. If Spruce Log does not finish on the podium, Lightning Shark needs to be 5 spots below. Gordon needs to hope the 2 contenders don't get top half, and of course he needs to win. And Lapis Lazuli has to win, hope Spruce Log gets bottom half, and Lightning Shark finishes dead last. It's all pretty much a fever dream for Lapis Lazuli, but it's also a fever dream for Gordon. It's all about those 2 contenders. It's all really on them. If they advance, it's over for Gordon. And here we go into the first heat. If Lapis Lazuli here does not advance, they're out of contention. Fast Fish, Overgrowth, and Constellation are fighting to make that happen. It is Fast Fish in first place, but there's Lapis Lazuli up to the lead. Constellation makes a move up into 3rd place. It's a 3-way battle here, all line astern. Fast Fish in 2nd, Constellation in 3rd, but Lapis leads them into the water. And then they go from 1st to 4th. It's Fast Fish and Overgrowth now into 2nd place. Overgrowth suddenly stalls out Fast Fish, and Constellation will advance here. Unbelievable first race. Lapis Lazuli is already out. I mean, there was already a 19-point deficit. It would have been a miracle run to try and win the title, but they're going to crash out of the heats here and finish in 3rd place. That's already 1 contender down in the first heat of this event. Fast Fish and Constellation, neither is fighting for anything significant. but they are fighting, of course, for position in the late stages of the season. I believe Constellation can still get an auto qualification out of this, especially now that Lapis Lazuli, who was in 4th place, has fallen out in the heats. Neoclassicist, Reckless Rito, Tropic Thunder, and Gordon go down for heat number 2. There's Gordon, who takes the lead of the race. Of course, Lapis Lazuli being out doesn't mean much for Gordon, but they just need to hope the other two don't make it through. It is Gordon still in 1st place, ahead of Neoclassicist, Tropic Thunder, and Reckless Rito. The Rito comes up into 3rd place, behind Neoclassicist, fighting hard. Gordon's going to win the race. Who got 2nd place there? It's neck and neck toward the line, but Gordon interfered with them, so there's going to be projections based on who's going to advance here. I believe Neoclassicist would have got 2nd place there, and there you go. They knocked into Gordon first. They will finish in 2nd by the slimmest of margins, and will get the win here. Well, not the win here, the win into 2nd place. They will advance to the next round over Reckless Rito and Gordon. There's your contender. Gordon does advance. They will go through to the semi-finals, but they have to hope that the other two don't. If Lightning Shark advances, Gordon can't win. Lightning Shark gets too many points provisionally, and it's already over. Spruce Log can still advance, but they can't get to the final if Gordon wants to have any chance of winning this. And here's Spruce Log now with Sergeant Vaca, Ice Cold, and Butterscotch. The latter two get off to a very slow start here. Butterscotch always comes out of the track, but Ice Cold now assumes the lead, and Butterscotch gets up into 2nd place. Spruce Log is running in last right now. Ice Cold still leads. Butterscotch and the Sergeant are 2nd and 3rd. Down into the water. Spruce Log can't make any ground on the runners. They get up right behind the Sergeant, who's coming up on Butterscotch for 2nd place. I believe they may have just gotten there. It is Ice Cold who wins the race. I believe the Sergeant just reaches that outline first. It's neck on neck, but if you can see the outline there, the Sergeant will advance over Butterscotch. Very close that was. Ice Cold goes from start to finish, basically in 1st place, but Spruce Log is out. And that is very, very important for Gordon. Lightning Shark also could just be heading for a title victory here. If Lightning Shark so much as advances through the heats, it is over. Spruce Log out for the count already. It is now all down to this race. If Lightning Shark advances, it is over. The title is confirmed just as the heat, only through the heats. It will only take the heats to confirm a title here. And it is Lightning Shark contending with Blackcurrant, Golden Syrup, and Shining Dawn. But currently Lightning Shark is running in 3rd place behind Golden Syrup. It is Blackcurrant in 1st place. Shining Dawn is well off the pace. Coming into the water, it's a great dive for the top runners, but Lightning Shark gets up behind Golden Syrup, and then he gets blocked. Lightning Shark is out. Lightning Shark's not going to advance. Lightning Shark gets blocked coming into the water by Golden Syrup, who's able to get through to the semi-finals with Blackcurrant. Shining Dawn also got past Lightning Shark. They finish in 4th place. The times, what do the times mean? Spruce Log, in fact, could actually be with a shout here. If Lightning Shark is a full 5 positions behind Spruce Log, Spruce Log will get more points and they'll be provisionally in 1st place. Gordon is, of course, still a contender to win this title, but how do the times shake out? We're waiting for 9th to 16th to see how it goes. Spruce Log is in 11th, Lightning Shark is in 15th. It's a 4-position gap, which means Spruce Log and Lightning Shark will be tied on points, but Lightning Shark holds their lead on gold medal countback. It is only Gordon that can win this title, but they need at least a silver medal to do it. Unbelievable, I can't believe it. Another event that's going to go down to 0 points. 0 points separate Lightning Shark and Spruce Log, who are provisionally 1st and 2nd place, but how far can Gordon go? Can Gordon finally secure their title? After being a contender every single time, will this finally be the run to do it? Fast Fish takes the lead in the semi-finals here. Ice Cold is already stuck. Fast Fish is contending with Neoclassicist and Golden Syrup, who are running 2nd and 3rd for now. Ice Cold crashes out in semi-final A almost immediately in the gravity tracks. Into the water, it's Fast Fish up in front, who knocks into Neoclassicist, who slows to a crawl. Golden Syrup and Fast Fish, those two orange marbles, are going to cruise to advancement here. What a race that was as well. Ice Cold's race was over pretty much immediately, falling to last place, and then could not make anything work, and the gravity tracks just got stuck on one of the hexagons. It is Fast Fish and Golden Syrup. Here's the pivotal moment into the water. Neoclassicist had a fantastic dive, but Fast Fish swerves into the left side of Neoclassicist, throwing them back and slowing them to a crawl. Golden Syrup sneaks through as a result to another final. It is semi-final B. This is the one for all the marbles, if you will. Constellation, Gordon, Blackcurrant, and the Sergeant Vaca. What can Gordon advance here? Gordon has to advance here to keep their championship hopes alive. Sergeant Vaca and Constellation are currently making it hard. They're ahead of Gordon coming into the water. Plunging into the water now. Gordon's still behind. Not a great dive. They swerve left and right. Gordon is gone. Gordon is gone. And that's the title decided for Lightning Shark. They have struck the competition here despite their poor performance. They will secure not only gold in 3 different events this season, but the entire tournament as a result. Lightning Shark is your Season 3 Trainable Trials champion. Gordon will have to settle for 3rd place yet again, just like in Season 1. Spruce Log will hold on for the overall runner-up position as all the 4 finalists have nothing to play for. It is confirmed the top 4 Neoclassicus with their 9th place finish will finish in 4th place and auto-qualify in their debut season for Season 4. Very impressive by the debutant, but congratulations to Lightning Shark. There they are, sitting with all the finalists, watching the track, and they will watch the final from the best seat in the house as the champion of this season. What a final we have here despite the no championship permutations. Constellation, Golden Syrup, Sergeant Vaca and Fast Fish. 3 of these marbles are fighting for their first ever Touring Marble Trials gold, and Golden Syrup and Sergeant Vaca are, of course, in the bottom 2 on the table. So this was going to shake up the table for sure. It is the Sergeant in a comfortable first place. Golden Syrup makes a big overtake on Fast Fish to get up into 2nd place. Sergeant into the water. It's a really poor dive. It's a really poor dive. Everybody overtakes. Golden Syrup leads ahead of Fast Fish and Constellation. It's Linus third. Fast Fish draws aside, but Golden Syrup, it's unbelievable. The only marble here who already has a gold is going to get a 2nd one. Golden Syrup, with all the struggles this season, is going to at least walk away with a gold medal. Unbelievable stuff. Fast Fish will finish in 2nd place, and Constellation gets 3rd. Another bronze medal. 4 medals this season for Constellation after their failure to qualify in Season 2. A great return to the series despite no overall podium to show for it. But Golden Syrup, Fast Fish and Constellation secure the last podium of the season. Golden Syrup with their 2nd career gold. Unbelievable, truly unbelievable. And Constellation their 4th medal. Fast Fish their 2nd in the season, 3rd career. Congratulations to those marbles, and of course, the biggest congratulations to Lightning Shark. And that brings another chaotic season of Touring Marble Trials to an end. Season 3, the biggest in the books, wrapped up. 10 events for both leagues. A B-League champion inaugurally crowned in the Governor, and an all-new champion, Lightning Shark, defending from Spruce Log by 0 points. A tie. Lightning Shark's 3 gold medals came in handy for the tiebreaker. They will beat Spruce Log on position countback for the 2nd time in history. Position countback causes a championship. Congratulations to Lightning Shark, Spruce Log and Gordon, the Governor, Jolly Jogger and Bomarilla, our podiums across both leagues. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Enjoy the closing parade.